if a man spoke to a woman in the same fashion, this disrespect that we are calling, would it be weighted the same way, or would it be expected that a man sometimes can snap that way?
No, I think it's worse.
Yeah, it's worse.
No.
Because the more respected you are as a man, the more high status you are as a man, the more the probability that the social framework around you protect you, understand, and protect the woman that you're with.
Like, really upholding this, men need respect, whereas
So do
everyone
women.
needs respect.
Everyone needs
exactly. So even when you're saying
Yeah.
a man who's like a high status, it just all sounds like, what in the 1960s is this? You know what I mean? I think by virtue of how men feel about themselves when it comes to finances, it's more about how you feel about yourself, more than how I feel about you. And when a man, is not earning well or isn't earning as much as you, if a man doesn't like his job, those two things, because of how men are conditioned to believe that their worth is in money and their work, if that he's injured there, most of the time the way that man
take
is
it out
to
on
you is not good.
It's so true. I mean, relationships, marriages, whatever, love goes through seasons. So like, for example, when let's say a parent is sick, you know, and so you know that your partner is depleted, you know that, you know, you guys are going through financial strain, like there's something to blame for what's happening. Or you have very young children, because sometimes that can be really stressful on, you know, or like someone is changing jobs, something like that, someone has lost a job. So if there's something particular that you can point to, that when this thing started happening, that's what's impacting our relationship, I feel like that makes it easier to weather the storm. If it's just like,
and it's not
we were
him.
happy, yeah, exactly. If it's just like, oh, we were happy and then now we're just not happy, and it's like you've tried to talk, you've tried to go to therapy, you are working on it, he's working on it, and it's not working, then it's okay to just call it quits. As Lydia's sister Aggie says, normalize leaving on the day of the wedding. Normalize living pregnant. Okay, normalize anytime you want, you can actually just leave. Yes.
Unexpressed expectation is premeditated resentment. So I found that I used to think that my stability was being quiet and bearing the pain. And somebody working with me said to me, my therapist was saying, she was like, it's not meant to be about grit. Like, it's meant to be about enjoying each other. Not going to say, no, I'm going to hold on to this, and then when someone else is ready, I'll talk about it. And I think I'm just going to be expressing myself off the bat, regardless of the outcome, because I feel like you can kind of let somebody pour their pain onto you, and then you hold yours, and then the whole dynamic changes, and you've never got room to express yourself in it. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Mantalk.ke. Thanks for coming back for another week of conversation. This season, this episode is sponsored by Johnny Walker, and the theme is brighter stories. So we've had conversations with some really popular guests in the past. So after some years, we want to come back and find out a bit more about how they've been and learn about how their stories have got brighter and tackle some issues too. So thanks, Johnny Walker, for being part of this season. We're also here in Glee, Nairobi. It's a fantastic hotel. We're actually doing a staycation, so look out for that on social media. But without further ado, Oscar, your honor as always. Let them know who's here.
Today we have summoned the Avengers. On my right is Murugi and Lydia. I just found out Murugi's other name is Joan, which is crazy. I didn't know. I didn't know. I was like Murugi Munyi. Joan. So today what we're covering, Mantalk has had a folder. We call this folder X.
Tell them.
And what happens in folder X is all the questions that Mantalk can't answer. Like the ones we're like, hey, this one.
Yeah.
The scope is too wide.
Yeah. Too wide.
The context is not here. If we try and answer, we'll be in trouble. That goes with folder X. And today we are opening folder X. Why? For the Avengers.
Wow.
So we might call it the X-Files. 10.
Decided.
Yeah, so how are you feeling, girls, before I jump in?
We are great. Oh, let me speak for myself. I'm great. How are you feeling?
I'm good too. I'm good. I'm really happy to be here. I'm excited about this collab. It's giving TBT. Right? Yeah, it's been a journey. Happy to be back.
It's been actually the last one we did was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
3 years.
It's been 8.
Yeah.
Has life been kind?
Imagine, and they still look fine.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It's insane. They are still
Gotta stay
bad.
consistent.
They are bad. Oh.
Gotta stay consistent.
They entered the building and suddenly, security was like, we did not allow bombshells in the building.
Yeah.
That's
You know how to chocha. Hey, Oscar.
They pictured it like excuse me, we can't allow,
We already agreed to be on a podcast.
It's
We already
okay.
done it.
explosive contents. So
Meanwhile,
Yeah.
we've
Thank
aged.
you.
Meanwhile,
Yeah,
we've aged
meanwhile.
the last 3 years.
have,
But we're
big
still
time.
here.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, let's
We
just
are
say I
still
need a
here.
wider seat, and Eli had to dye his hair brown. So
There
that
we
tells
go.
you everything
There
you
we
need to
go.
know.
Changes a
Down
little
for the
bit.
brown.
Thank you so much.
Down for the
I
brown.
really like it,
guys.
actually.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very.
Thank
That's
you.
something to the eyes.
It's a
Yeah.
metaphor for brighter stories.
Listen.
Listen. Hashtag-
We're podcasting. We're
we
ready.
can do this all day. So, good to know that you're well.
Like, well,
We want to tackle the questions like you said. I'm going to go for the first one. Can I do that? Yeah. The first question is coming from a young man
okay.
who's a friend, a very close friend, who's concerned about his buddy. Now, what happened, he says, the title was "My Boy's Girl Embarrassed Me in Public." So he said, we were out and my boy's girl spoke to him like he was a child. I said nothing. Do friends owe each other honesty when someone is disrespected, or do they let it fly?
Okay, so his boy's girl embarrassed him, in front of.
Yeah, in public.
Oh,
Spoke to
no.
him like a child.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
I feel like in that moment, stay in your business.
Yeah.
Stay in your business.
Okay.
You have no idea what's going on. If maybe this is like a recurring thing, let's even say if it's like me and you,
Yeah.
I would be like, sweetie, I have noticed that your man talks to you in like a really interesting way, like maybe after like a pattern, but you know, it's like maybe she snapped that one time or whatever. Like I don't think I would take it any further. Yeah.
Exactly. I'd also say the same thing. Definitely don't say anything in the moment because it's none of your business. That's not your relationship. Maybe later on, if there has been a pattern, you can say something. But also recognizing that people's levels of what they consider disrespect are very different, extremely different. Maybe in their relationship, they do that as like a kink.
Oh.
That happens, you know. Sometimes people are like, "Oh, when you talk to me like this in public, then now when we go to the bedroom, you get punished." Those things happen.
Yeah.
What?
Relationships are all very varied.
Yeah.
And to some people, it's like to you, it's like I can't let my woman talk to me like that.
It's a humiliation
In other people,
thing.
it's like no, she wears the pants, and that's the way they talk to each other.
Yeah.
So and that's why it's essential to always take a back seat. It's only if it's like worrisome, you know,
And
like
consistent.
that's consistently worrisome that now you'd be like, oh, you know, later on when you're just the two of you just saying, oh, by the way, bro, what's going on? Because this sounded concerning.
What if you could see the reaction, like he's actually disheartened?
Upset.
He's not, like it's
Yeah,
not-
but yeah,
you could
because
see
for him
his
to slide into our
DMs.
DMs,
Yeah.
He must have
it
seen
means that he
something.
must have seen pain.
Something, yeah. Then
So
I
like-
wouldn't. I still wouldn't say anything in that moment. Like you've got to let it go.
Yeah.
And then maybe later on. Yeah.
Yeah, but then as a guy, how do you handle a situation where your shorty is talking to you mad like that in public? How would you suggest having, how you know your older sisters tell us? How do you suggest handling that? Like your shorty
As a guy,
No, like how does a lady want her guy? Like, have you ever said something mad to your husband or to your?
yeah, I feel like, you know, sometimes
I
it's
feel like we're the insane ones. So we have experience in this.
Yeah, this
in
is why you're
Perhaps
here.
it's exactly
This is
right.
why you're
particular,
here.
We can sit back, please.
Yeah, where you say something you shouldn't have said
Yeah.
in front of other people,
Right.
and you know you've now caused pain. So how
Right.
do you ladies usually address it? Like, what's the healthy way to do it?
If I'm aware that I've caused pain, like because maybe I'm just like snapping or like he's irritating and I've just said something, you know, like without meaning to. If I'm aware, I'm definitely going to apologize. No question.
In front of everyone? Or?
No. Like chances are I probably don't realize in that moment. If I do realize in that moment, I'll be like, okay, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to snap. But then I'll have a genuine more like, I'm really sorry I spoke to you like that in front of people. I didn't mean to. I was angry, I was agitated, but I didn't mean to disrespect you. I'm sorry. Like I would definitely apologize. Yeah.
Also, I guess it depends on the kind of partner that you have or like attract, because there's like other dynamics where it's like you'll say something out of turn and he'll be like, oh, you want to go there, and then now you're
Now you're going
that's a
there.
fight.
Now you're going
You
in
know?
front of everyone.
No,
Now
I've
you've
never
turned-
had one. Have you?
I know I haven't.
No.
I'm glad that my husband is a very calm man.
Yeah.
So even if I do say something, I know there are times that I have said like something which is just like, God, that's crazy.
Yeah.
He probably just look at me like,
For another time.
you know, for another
Yeah.
time, exactly.
But
But then
I know
exactly,
this. I know
you
about
go and
Lipa. I know you pay. How do you pay? Tell us the
yeah,
truth.
no, you just
Murugi.
apologize, and then
then?
now you know when you already know you're in the doghouse, you kind of have to overcompensate for like a few.
What does that mean?
Which doghouse
weeks or
is this? Speak more to this
whatever.
doghouse.
You know, it's like when you're the one who has committed the most recent wrong, you're the one who kind of has to commit now the more rights. If that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? So it's like the next date you can volunteer to plan it surely, you know, or like, you know,
Serve
it comes home,
breakfast.
serve exactly.
Okay.
I brought
Imagine
you
such a
breakfast,
world.
you know.
Accountability. Wow.
Yeah, I just
Love
No,
that.
for sure.
Love that.
Are you guys shocked at accountability? Because I hear men say that women are never accountable.
Yes.
it's sometimes a bit of a long path to accountability.
It's a road.
That is,
Yeah,
I
it's a
agree with
long
that. I
path.
actually think I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even for you.
Yeah, I would say so. I would definitely say that he extends more grace this way than I'm willing to extend that way sometimes.
As far
Yeah.
as what though?
As far as like you know how like men, like the smallest things he does and it's making me angry. It's just like, why can't you just not, you know? But for him, it's more often than not, it's like he can see something, it's kind of bugged him, but he's just like, "Ah, whatever," and then he'll just like let it go.
Yeah.
And like whatever. And he does that,
That
more.
makes
By the
sense.
time he's bringing it up, it's kind of like it's really
Many
bugging
times.
him. Me, it literally has to be like, you breathed wrong in my direction.
I
It's
think
like,
that's
why
men.
are you? Yeah.
I think that's men. And I'm so sorry. Is it like being trained? You seem like you're hurting.
No, I'm just
Yeah,
learning.
like,
I'm learning. It's
speak
just
up.
refreshing to hear some of this stuff.
Yeah,
It's very,
I think
very
men, the
mature.
way you're wired is
Yeah.
like I think you don't hold too much on, right? Whereas us, I think every little thing is something to hang on to.
Yeah.
So it's like you're actually saying it not really because it's the end of the world, but it's like, what if it becomes something
That's
bigger? We're always
it.
we're always afraid.
That's so true.
Yeah, what if I ignore this one? Then that's why he hit me.
You
You know
know?
what I
Yeah,
mean? You're
alright.
always
That's crazy.
Yeah, we have
Here now.
gone to divorce now. We are now at divorce. And if I had just said
We're
the first day he didn't put his socks in the dirty basket, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
We would be married with 2 kids. Yes,
Yeah.
that's it.
And
that's
I think there's some fear mongering with women, which is just kind of like the red flags you ignore in the beginning. Like there's so much information coming at us about how to avoid bad men. And so even in situations where it's like, is there a bad man here? You're still in there. He could be though. You know, so
Yeah,
you're
you're
always
red
on
alert.
defense mode. So even a lot of the confrontations are about trying to protect yourself so that he doesn't become the monster they've told you he
Same,
could
same,
be.
same thing for us as men now with red pill content, right? Because now it's like Shorty said something disrespectful to
You
you
see?
in front of the boys. Immediate, the offense goes up. Like for me, I just know like, like I'll now start planning like the exit.
Has
Like,
that ever actually happened to you?
yeah, 100%. Like a chick once said something mad. Immediate, like I made that mental note. I was like, escape.
So
like,
that disqualified everything else your
everything.
relationship
Because
was.
like I don't know, like for us men, like respect is something we really hold close to us, right? And the danger is that the way we tend to operate is that if your shorty is talking mad, like for example, if your girl is talking mad to you in front of the other guys, like the other guys might also begin to feel an obligation to also start speaking mad to you when she's not there. That's
Right.
that's the part of the movie you're not seeing, right? Like, you know, like if you okay, men are very, I don't want to say this, but we are very competitive and we tend to operate in hierarchies. So like Oscar's shorty has like said something nuts. They'll start, she does it once, she does it again, she does it another time. Suddenly the boys are looking at you different. Suddenly like, hey, this guy, what's up with you? What's going on? So like that empathy that you'd think that you'd get from your boys, they'd be like, yo, bro, is everything okay? But if you do nothing about it, they now begin to diminish the respect they have for you over time. And respect is everything.
It's starting
So
to
it's
sound
all
like
of
it's
this
more
is for
about
the male
them.
gaze.
It's for the
So
male
all of
gaze.
this is
It's
for the
less
male
about
gaze.
your relationship.
I agree. All of this is for the male gaze.
That's
I'll tell you. No,
I'm
you
glad
think
to
so.
hear that you're also victims
No,
of the
like
male
I'll tell
gaze.
you, like the truth is, like, why do you think men date very beautiful women? Do you think they date very beautiful women for themselves?
It's so they can be
It's
respected by other
because-
men.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Think about it.
That's
Why have the big
crazy.
house? Why drive the big car? Why? Because the real metric for success for men is respect by other men.
So you would be willing to sacrifice a really great relationship if in all other aspects she's been respectful, loving, everything, all the positive things.
this one.
But in this one time, it's like she
No,
got
no,
really
no.
angry or like it just was drunk
like
or
the
something.
thing about it is that like repetitive behavior like that, where
Right.
like there's constant
Repetitive.
disrespect
Yeah,
in the
fair.
relationship, it's a license to end the relationship because ultimately as a guy, like it's your ability to, your stability ultimately is what you're ultimately watching to protect. And like when a chick is constantly putting you in situations where instability is what is occurring, you can't have that in your life.
What about you?
I think every man experiences it once,
Okay.
and then you're like, I'm never gonna experience this pattern again.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like you'll experience disrespect. You say, okay, maybe this is, you work through it. This is just the dynamic. But once you learn that this pattern turns into X, you can't allow that again. And I think at the beginning of a relationship, people do show you who they are. And if you've already let them go so far once, you see it again, you're like, hey, I can't let
Check
this
Yeah.
kind of character be my partner going forward.
Question.
Yeah.
So the same disrespect, if a man spoke to a woman in the same fashion, this disrespect that we are calling, would it be weighted the same way, or would it be expected that a man sometimes can snap that way?
No,
No, I think it's worse.
Yeah,
think
like
it's
it's
worse.
worse.
No,
It's way
it's
worse.
not.
But
I feel like women are less allowed to be in a situation where they disrespect a man than a man disrespecting a woman. Because you just be like, first of all, we have a better relationship with men's anger than women's. Right? So my
'Cause it's
anger,
expected,
exactly,
yeah.
mine has to be more contained. Even when I'm angry and it's like there's a way I've got to talk to you to make sure I don't bruise the ego and all of that. Whereas a man getting angry is like, okay, well, he was upset. He was tired from work, so do we put more weight on this like disrespect from a woman more than we do from a man?
Like, I'll tell you why. I'll help you understand that a bit better.
Also, we do.
No, I'll get you there.
Okay.
And it's based off of the man's need to protect the family. The role of protection is ultimately a respect role sometimes, especially now in modern times today, right? Because the more respected you are as a man, the more high status you are as a man, the more the probability that the social framework around you will protect you, you understand? And protect the woman that you're with. The moment you begin to become disrespectful, people, and this is the woman who knows you best, by the way, this is the one person you've allowed closest to you, people begin to ask the question of like, why are we protecting this person's reputation and dignity that much if the person who's closest to him
Doesn't
is
even
not doing
respect
that
him.
work? Let me give you an example, and it's been a debate that's going on now in the basketball community. Steph Curry's wife, Aisha
Oh
Curry,
yeah, I saw.
went on a podcast and said something like that most men found that's a bit disrespectful. Steph is the greatest shooter to ever live in the history of the game. We've never seen one man put that ball in that net at that distance since basketball started. And his wife is there on camera saying, hey, I really didn't want to have a family with him. So you see, like, she didn't need to tell us. Why did you have to tell us? You could have told him. You should have kept it private.
Yeah.
So now the question starts becoming, is there something about Steph we don't know? So that trickle down begins to happen. The woman who's next to you is a very powerful signal, social signal in society today. If the woman who's next to you starts to disrespect you publicly, other people begin to doubt the credibility of your values and who you are as a man.
But this is all constructed in patriarchy, because what
It's
Aisha
actually-
said
it is true.
was a genuine expression of how she felt. And a woman is not allowed to feel like she's getting lost in motherhood and marriage because she's married to Aisha. To Steph. She's just supposed to be so grateful.
Yeah.
I find that to be so patriarchal and like, wait, so she's not allowed to be anything beyond being his wife.
No.
And by the way, people are only seeing it in the context of her being his wife, as opposed
not
to
her
like
being
her
a human
human
being.
experience. Exactly.
Yeah,
Which is
you
crazy.
might be having a human experience, and I do agree that she has a right to autonomy and a right to her own life. But for me, what most men it translates to is, why do you have such a need? And it's not the first time it's happened. Why do you have such a need to put down this guy who has earned all of the respect from all of us men because of who he is as a man and how he stood by this woman.
Yeah.
He's done everything he possibly can.
Yeah.
And in the game, he plays the game right. So like, the rumor is, what guys are saying is that the streets are calling to Aisha Curry like the Green Goblin mask calls the enemy. That's the first thing. Then the second thing is, like, there's also the question, now just to kind of help you understand this whole respect as a big thing for men, you also have to understand that we work very, very, very hard to get this respect.
Right.
Like, you see, no one wants to date the guy who's been told by his boys, in their jacket kwa gari. True or false?
Yeah.
Right? How do you think you get there?
Oh, right.
Yeah. So like, if your chick starts making fun of you in front of the other boys, now the relationship is over. And like, you are too vulnerable. The boys will start looking at you sideways.
Yeah, I do think with the Aisha Curry thing, though, I really need to stand on
Business.
I feel like she's gotten so swallowed up in the Steph Curry-ness that she doesn't actually exist as a human being to other people at all.
Yeah.
So when she expresses herself, it's always, I do see sometimes when she goes and says some things on podcasts, it's like last time she said that people are looking at Steph but not her. She's giving.
But you see, they always just take the
Yes,
little
but yeah,
soundbite.
there's been a few times where it's like,
Yeah.
it's just you didn't word it the right way, but then the way people are coming at her is I think it's nasty and it's so patriarchal, and it's like, you're not a human being. I feel like you're small and you should just be grateful to have the greatest shooter. He's the greatest shooter to you guys, but that's her man.
Just her husband.
No, but that's
exactly.
the thing. She's not acting like it's her husband.
I think
What
hers
do you
was-
mean?
Because
She
what does
is.
that mean?
Because
I
like,
can-
she's out here like me, like on this. Even me, I'll put
She
it.
is acting like
I
that.
feel with this
to be
latest
honest.
one, it was really taken out of context.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
my first reaction was like, what the hell? That's Steph. Why would you say that? Then when they zoomed out and added like 10 more seconds on each side.
Yeah.
You're like, oh no,
That's
she
the
talked about
thing.
him like this,
So
but talked about
much.
herself at the same time.
Yeah.
But people ignored the
Nah,
context.
They'll
like,
only
wait,
take
Not
that
a human
little-
being.
I think it's
She's-
because Steph is who Steph is.
Exactly.
Yeah, 'cause
Steph is Steph.
So if
which
you're
is
talking about
valid.
someone who is not even in the NBA, who is just like some guy who
That's
is
who she
whatever.
wished she was dating. I'll tell you that. Like,
I don't think
I
so.
don't think. I think she was much better off with Seth, the brother. Than she
I
was
do
with
not
the
think
gay
so.
show
I think
of
that
all time.
she's in love with her husband, but she's allowed as a human being to express the things that are challenging about her experience in her marriage. But because you guys want to marry him,
Wow.
you're like, why aren't you happy
you
to be
guys are
married
in
to the
love
love of
with
our
him.
lives?
Exactly. Actually, that is
Yes,
that is
that's
exactly it.
How
And
about you propose?
to
You're
him.
proposed
Exactly.
to him.
Send him a DM if he opens
Send
good for
DM.
you.
Okay.
Also,
One thing-
I feel like can we ask if they were to able to ask Steph how he
And
feels
that's
about
what
what
was
she said.
Yeah, he's
he would
okay.
be-
He's okay
exactly.
with it. He's
It's
okay with it.
everyone
Yeah,
else
He's okay with it.
that has
He's
a
fine.
problem.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
But
he's okay with it. But then, like I said, again, I'll just take it back.
Just marry him.
Nah, I'll take it back. I'll marry Steph Curry. It's okay. But I'll take it back. The way I see it is, if you're dealing with a guy who's high status, high performing, and like who has everybody's respect, it's a very dangerous thing to undermine that person publicly. Because again, like I said, if you start to do that, everybody else starts to ask the question of like, hold on, dog, like,
Isn't
why-
this the perception of
why-
undermining?
Wait, let me finish my point. And like the reason why, because Jada Pinkett Smith, Aisha Curry.
Okay,
why
that's
so-
Jada.
that's
Jada.
No, it's not the same way.
same.
It's
No,
not the
it's
same.
not.
It's
It's not the same.
Jada clearly disrespects Will. I feel like hers is just like
He cheated. She cheated.
Yeah.
Did they know? They
It
were
was in an open relationship.
Yeah, or what was it?
Yeah.
What was that thing she said that she had with him?
Entanglement.
And then entanglement.
Yeah, that's
Thank you.
You know,
entanglement.
there's
Yeah,
things
that's
happening
different.
there.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, she was expressing her woes. And also, you don't think that it must be a struggle to be next to the love of your life and get swallowed up and not feel like a human being. Maybe she's just sharing her woes.
I feel like a real man does not measure his worth of like his respect based off of what you little ones down here feel. You know, it's like if you people, you fans in Kenya or Africa start thinking, oh, his wife said X and Y and Z, so why should we respect him? Do you think he cares? I don't think he cares.
Okay, like the thing I'm trying to put across, right? And the example, because we've got.
I think we get your point. We just disagree.
Vehemently.
So you vehemently disagree with the fact that like a guy, especially a high status guy, should not be disrespected. by his woman
Even the
publicly.
high statusness is like, wait, where are we? Like, you know, because that is basically saying that if a man is high status, the way a woman is towards him is almost like you've always got to be mindful of my high status. It's too patriarchal.
Okay, I'll ask the question.
Yeah.
Right. If Kamala Harris becomes president, right, and the husband publicly says like, I feel as though I am being swallowed up by my wife's prominence as the president of the United States of America.
Yeah.
What is your opinion on that?
Okay, so here's the thing. Yeah, she never even said that. She said that she had other hopes and dreams. Like she had.
I've given you a hypothetical.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that those would also be his feelings, but it would be also a question the way you're asking with Aisha, like why did he say that? But if you listen to her whole podcast, you will see what she was saying.
I'm not asking about the podcast. I'm asking about this specific example of like, because there are situations where like men also, for example,
feel small.
Yeah, where men also feel small, and then if they vocalize that they feel small, then they too are perceived to be, I'd say, insecure. You'd see like he's not supportive of his wife's success.
Yeah.
So like there's that dynamic as well.
I feel like that whole concept or that question has more to do with one person being in a relationship or being married to someone who is popular, a celebrity, famous, less than it being about that man and woman. Because I feel like that dynamic can happen in any kind of, even in a homosexual relationship. It's more about like when you are with somebody who is high status and is super popular, super famous, then there are definitely some dynamics that you need to be careful about. I think it's less about like, oh, because he's a man, she needs to be conscious of this, or because she's a woman, he needs to be whatever. That's the way I see it. it more than it being man, woman, anything.
So for you, it's not about the gender. It's about the popularity. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Social
because I mean,
status generally.
because even in that context, I feel like, yeah, you're allowed to have feelings and it's okay. Like, okay, fine. But honestly, if her husband went and said that, it would just be like, stop being a baby. Like, stop crying.
Because
Relax.
she also has some patriarchal views, so it's fine. Yes, it's okay. She also does. What I'm hearing in this conversation a lot, it's like really upholding this men need respect, whereas
so do
everyone
women.
needs respect.
Everyone needs
exactly.
respect.
So even when you're seeing
Yeah.
a man who's like a high status, it just all sounds like, what in the 1960s is this? You know what I mean? I feel like it's more of like, period, point blank, everyone needs respect.
That's it.
That's it. But I know it operates differently. And even if Kamara's husband said that, because we're in a patriarchal society, things would be said the same way.
Yes.
But are those my views? Would I also be thinking like, taking it from that context?
But that's the danger, right? Like, Lydia, I feel like if you operate in an idealized world, will your ideals and your principles ever really show up truly in a proper world space?
What's the alternative?
That's the thing, right? We're trying to crack the questions that we're asking based on what is actually happening. What is the practical reality of what we exist in today?
I don't know, because
Because, like, for example, like the reason why I posed that question to you is men and women have a very different relationship with respect, right? And that's the thing I'm trying
because
to
of conditioning.
Yes, you can call it conditioning, or we can call
Me, I
it
would say
patriarchal.
with biology almost.
Yeah, with
I don't think so. I think it's purely conditioning.
You don't think?
Yeah,
It's a combination.
I think so,
History
because
and
Yeah,
biology.
or maybe it's a combination.
I think even this conversation is like, men respect, men. It's been
And
drilled
women-
into
But
you.
can I tell you
Yeah.
what? The way you see the way the question was phrased, the thought of like a woman speaking out against her man and saying something disrespectful in front of his boys is the way I imagine I would feel if my man did something unloving. Like, let's say we're at a bar or something, and like I asked him, like, oh babe, I'm feeling cold, you can give me a jacket, and he's like, no. So it's like
Different
you're
value
not showing
systems.
care and love and
Right.
and like nini for
Because
me.
you've been conditioned to believe
That's
what to
or
I don't think
you
it's
see,
a
I don't
conditioning.
think
Yeah.
it's conditioned. I just feel like
Human
as girls, it's
decency
like
at some
I
point.
don't know. Yeah, well, you know what? Because we have been conditioned, we don't know how it would be if we hadn't been conditioned.
And that's okay.
And that's just
And
the way
that's
it is. Yeah,
okay.
but that's the way I imagine, because for him, that whole element of like respect and like, you know, the whatever. For me, what makes sense? Like, obviously, you're not gonna disrespect me, but if he did something like this, it would feel the way I imagine me disrespecting him in public would feel.
Yeah, let me tell you,
Mm.
I do not take away from how it's going to feel, whether or not it's conditioning or not. I do see how it would feel. However, I think I like to partake in conversations that are more about like, okay, do we want to keep regurgitating the things that are keeping dynamics so like that? Or do we want to have a conversation where we can open it up and make it more like women don't respect men, men don't respect women? Does that make sense? And
understand.
if you're
I agree
asking
with
my opinion as well, I'm not just going to regurgitate what the whole other world is going to react like.
The reason, the thing that I'm trying my best to do here is to make sure that you're not saying, you know, the all lives matter, Black lives matter problem.
Yeah.
Which is where you say everybody should be treated
No,
equally.
no,
and we should
not
treat
at
all
all.
of us equally, but then some people are uniquely affected. Like,
Yeah.
I like Murugi's conclusion, because I hope that's what we're going to do
Okay.
as we move to question number 2.
50 hours. On question one.
Necessary.
Yeah.
Necessary.
Because like she recognizes the differences in value systems between both genders, right?
Yeah.
The trouble of saying like everybody deserves respect is that we might, and I do agree with you.
Yeah.
Fundamentally, I want you to understand that, but I also want us to appreciate the unique aspect of respect is a very different value for men. Just like being loving and being loved on.
I agree.
Is a very different value for
Yeah.
women. Yeah.
I agree with it. I just know we're having a conversation about like what we've all been conditioned to accept. So I do agree with it. I know the pinch of like my woman shouted at me feels like a whole group discussion versus maybe the way it would be if it's a man. Yeah, I get it.
But to the young man's question, basically, not in public.
Yeah.
Oh, just
to your
back
boy
what
at the
we
side.
had said.
Yeah.
What we said
We've spoken about
It's you guys who poked. It's you guys who poked
5
more.
minutes ago when we started. Go back to
No,
that
but basically,
We're
advice.
podcasting.
Say
guys,
it in
we're
private.
podcasting.
Say it in private. Have a chat with your boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Good luck.
Next one.
Wow.
It's you guys who are pokey.
I've been, it's fun. Trust me, it's fun. I've been dating my girlfriend for 2 years. She earns way more than I do, and I've always supported her ambition. but now she's pregnant and she's made it clear she's not keeping it, given the fact that she's climbing up the corporate ladder without even asking what I think. She says since she'll have to carry it, it's her decision, and she's also the one who runs the finances in the home. I get that, but I can't help but feel powerless and lost as a man. You guys are always talking about progressive masculinity. Please tell me if finances automatically silence a man's opinion in relationships, and what do I do in this situation? Speak.
Firstly, politics.
10 marks.
We actually had
a
an
conversation about
episode
this last week.
Yes, and also we had a conversation about
Abortion.
abortion. Like, you know, like, do you need to tell your partner, like all of that? So this is a dilemma that brings all of those together. Take it away.
There are several questions here for us to unpack.
Join
One, I feel like you need to respect her decision to not keep the baby. I feel like it's not really necessarily about the finances. It's more about the fact that the baby is in her body and she gets to decide what to do with it. Me, I had said personally in that episode that we shot about abortion is that if it was me, I would definitely inform my partner. I would definitely consult my partner, but ultimately I would decide what I want to do. And what I want to do is final. And I feel like he needs to respect that. The question of finances, it doesn't seem like she has said, because I control the finances, you don't get to have a say. It's because of her own decisions. Like, I'm climbing up the corporate ladder. I don't want to keep the baby. But it feels like maybe he feels that he's not in a position to speak up because he is not contributing financially to the home or in a significant way, in which case I feel like that sounds more of like a self-esteem issue that perhaps he needs to examine further. But he definitely at this point needs to just respect her decision to not keep the baby.
I think I second everything she says. For me, for sure, if I'm in a relationship, I'm having that conversation with the person who I'm with. Like, this is happening. This is how I feel. How do you feel about it? Whatever. But again, it's going to be my decision at the end of the day. But for sure, I think he deserves, or in my opinion, I think it's good if you have a healthy relationship to have a conversation with the person who you just, you know, you're having, you got pregnant with, right? The money thing, I don't know if it's always that the second a woman, or if a woman is earning more, is it because the man feels small just by that virtue? So then now everything is being seen from these lenses of she earns more. So today she came in and she was snappy. It's because she earns more. She doesn't want to keep the baby. It's because she earns more.
Yeah.
So it's like, I can't always tell what comes first. This insecurity in the man, or a woman maybe just kind of being boisterous and just showing, you know, you're nothing, you know? And I'm careful about always deciding that it's a woman who's being a bitch about this.
Right.
I'm allowed to swear, right?
Not really, but it's okay.
I know she's allowed.
Remove where she said.
When she said it. I just said it.
I'm telling you to remove. Don't put that part. I was
Stop.
trying to help.
But I'm careful about saying always leaving it to. It's the woman who started making the man feel small.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I feel like you obviously can't like ignore the fact that finances do play an impact.
Huge
Impact. However, this concept of like earning more, I'm always saying like it depends. If I'm earning 2 million and you're earning 1.5, it's like, yeah, I'm earning more, but it's like, you know what I mean?
Within
But
the
if I'm
vicinity.
earning 2 million and you're earning 50,000, Oscar.
Sir, stand
Why
up.
me?
Eli. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, for me personally, I just feel like it would be really difficult for me to you know, exist
In such a dynamic.
in that kind of like dynamic.
I don't
you know,
think I'll
kind of
start that
thing.
dynamic.
Yeah.
I actually quite literally won't.
Yeah, exactly. It might
You
be a
don't
bit
date potential.
difficult.
Is what you're saying.
No.
Okay, just check.
Yeah.
Okay.
My Bob the Builder days are.
Behind.
But now, you know, Lydia, me, like, the reason why I love this question.
You're about to poke.
I love it so much.
He's always poking.
I love it so much, Lydia. It's because, you know, you are screaming patriarchy. The patriarchy. You know, the patriarchy is showing up. The patriarchy is ruining things for us.
Yeah.
But isn't this another patriarchal perspective? This perspective of like, I can't allow love to happen if the man does not have as much finances as I do.
It's not even about nothing.
Because that value system itself.
Yeah,
right?
for me,
it's a source.
It's because of the life that I want to live. and I actually want everyone to partake in that good life. For me, my issue with
everyone
men
can't.
having money.
Like that's the
No,
thing.
everyone being high and her man.
Yeah.
Not like the
no,
world.
not the whole world.
Yeah.
Not the
Her
whole
and her
world.
man.
Just
Yeah.
me
Okay.
and
Her
my man.
kids.
Because of the standard I want and everything like that, it's just easier to be with someone. It's. Let me give you another example. Somebody who goes to therapy, somebody who has done inner work. That person is easier to meet me in the kind of dream life that I want. So I have all those other standards about everything. Money just happens to be one of them.
Right,
So it's not at all about patriarchy, because if I'm earning 50,000, see, we are there together then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Actually, that's the difference, because you want to be with a man who's like at least where you are and higher up, and not just financially, even physically,
Yeah.
even
So
in
many
wellness,
ways.
whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's not just the financial element.
I think this is a very, very diplomatic response.
I actually don't think so.
I think it's very
it's like it's always leaned in when it's always leaned in the patriarchy part of it, because there's always this like back and forth about the power dynamics
Yes.
when it comes to money.
Yes.
But we don't talk about it about like, okay, are you happy to date somebody who is overweight and you work out 24/7 and they don't, and they don't care about their health consciousness? That's a genuine question. But because money kind of makes the world go round, we just stay here. It's always about money or age. Money or age, the two places where there's a lot of power dynamic.
Are you saying that you said money is one of the factors, right? Because if they have like 4 out of 5,
Yeah.
they don't have the money. Do you still consider that?
The
Does
money has
have
to be
in
one of
there?
the 4 out
Would
of
you
5.
sacrifice everything else? The self-worth,
Yes.
the physical, the mentality?
Just the way you asking me about respect.
Let
Just
me
the way
just-
you are
yeah,
saying.
let me just think
She-
about
I
that.
personally not willing to sacrifice.
Okay,
the
and we're talking
financial
about
element.
2M and then 50. The gap being that big.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, the gap's big. But he's built. But he's creating something.
Yeah,
And
but he's working
every day. You don't
he's
even
running a
see him.
podcast every week.
Comes back
He's trying to
sweaty.
make
He's
money.
a podcast and he's
Yeah.
at 50.
And he's
No.
Okay, let's take away a nuance.
Yeah.
So,
Okay,
yeah.
what I've got to say is, like, I think just by virtue of how the world exists, I think those dynamics are really rare, unless it's like somebody you guys meet and you are both at 50 and then it shoots
I've
up.
shot up,
I
yeah.
find it very rare that like that those dynamics actually ever happen. I don't think I've
Where even are we
It's a
meeting
rare
this?
situation.
I think
This
you've
time
never-
around-
That's it, it's
where
more-
are we
As
as
Wanini will
This is
tell
a
you,
rare
you've
situation.
never met a
Yeah.
Take
photographer.
away context. This is a rare situation. What are you doing in this rare, very rare situation?
Okay, I have an answer.
May I have an answer for you?
Let me tell you. I think by virtue of how men feel about themselves when it comes to finances, it's more about how you feel about yourself more than how I feel about you. And when a man, is not earning well or isn't earning as much as you, if a man doesn't like his job, those two things, because of how men are conditioned to believe that their worth is in money and their work, if that he's injured there, most of the time the way that man
take
is
it out
to
on
you is not good.
It's so
take it
true.
out on you.
And
Yeah.
then now also, how does he interact with me with money? So for example, we are trying to plan a holiday. He has 50,000, I have 2 million. Me, I'm like, oh, I've always wanted to go to Dubai. We should do Dubai.
If he
in-
earns
in
50,000,
Christmas.
he doesn't have
Yeah.
50,000 for the holiday.
That's
Yes,
He
after
does,
tax.
'cause
After
he's
tax,
been
summer.
saving for 4 years.
Oh, okay.
For the holiday, yeah.
Okay.
So now it's like he's like, no, may only have money for Karatina. Okay.
But John, he loves you.
So
John, he loves you.
So much.
John, he loves you a
I
lot.
loved him too. I
Past
did,
tense.
but you know what? It's just the way that it is. Because you see now it's like, am I the one who is paying for the holiday? Are you comfortable coming on the holiday and I'm the one paying?
What if he does 50-50 on the holiday? He saved up so much. He's really good with his money. Just doesn't have a lot of it. So you're doing 50-50 still. He's waited 2 years for this holiday. But you can just go.
I'm willing. I feel like I'm
Yeah.
happy to do 50-50 on some things. There are many things, even in my marriage, that we do
Okay.
50-50.
So he's using 90% of his savings. You're using like 10% of your disposable.
So no,
Yeah.
actually what I've got to
if he's
say.
offered,
Okay,
not me
okay.
telling
Look,
him
she'll
that he
just
must.
swallow all
No.
the savings.
Yeah.
Just put it in
no,
her
no, no.
stomach.
What I've got to say, actually, in that kind of dynamic, I actually feel like in relationships, the person who earns more should do more as a principle. Like that's
when
it.
you're dating.
Yeah, no,
Lydia.
we're talking about like you guys are together. Your finances are mixed in, whether it's marriage, whatever. This is it. I think the person who earns more should do more. Period. That's what I think. So I think it's either I agree to date you and I know that I'm gonna be taking more of the work, or I agree to not date you. But I do think it's crazy for you to have to say four.
I do
Why-
wish
why-
that
why do you
whoever
say
earns
4
more-
years?
Yeah, 4
Why do you
years.
say 4
He's
years?
hardworking. You know, he's been working on his
200K.
I know.
Let's go
Even
again.
the reason
26 to 30.
The
Let's go.
reason why I say that when it's that big of a gap, it's crazy work.
So let me tell you something.
Shows
I
commitment,
feel like,
you
this concept of that whoever earns more should do more sometimes doesn't work, especially in the context of marriage, because you realize that there are some things that men are like very particular. Okay, if you have a certain kind of man who's like a traditional, and he's like, this is my responsibility to do this. It is my responsibility to build us a house. It is my responsibility to take the children to school. So even though if we combined, you could now go to the Brook houses or whatever, if he wants it to be his responsibility, then where his bank account is capped, that's where you're living. That's the school your children are going
Which
to.
I feel
that's
like
the whatever.
and I completely understand where it comes from. But in my idea,
Right.
in my head,
Yeah.
in like if we would put it in a way which is just like, okay, the boy child is really being thought of, right? Let's think of it. Mantalk, boy child, whatever. I think that would be the best way to do it. But as you're saying, it's not just about the money and
It's
like just
not,
the equation. It's like okay, we are at dinner, I've paid. You're on a holiday, I've paid. So now it becomes a problem. So I understand why people refuse to do it. But ideally,
Okay, let me.
Now we're on holiday, and then you can't even suggest, I think we should go paragliding, because you don't have paragliding money. I have it. I have the paragliding.
No,
money.
But you
saved for the
suggested
flight
then we
and
go
accommodation.
paragliding.
So you have to wait for me to suggest
Yes.
it. You have to
Guy.
start leaving flyers on
really
the
feeling
table
sorry
so
for
that I
you.
can be like, by the way, we can
Yeah,
do this.
imagine, why not? Why
No.
not, Murugi?
I
It's
think-
love.
no.
I
life.
think, first of all, the advice, I think, have a
right.
conversation with your woman. Have an honest conversation with your woman.
Yeah.
First of all, I know it's like, you're going to tell me like what's really happening on ground. He wouldn't be honest, right?
Yeah.
Because this is hard. But let's assume we're in this world, we are a little bit progressive and we can have honest conversations to heal our relationship.
Honest and elevating.
Right? Let's just assume having a conversation with her being like, I understand where your decision is coming from and I respect it. Right? But can we have a conversation about this, about how you feel, about how I feel? Because this is like, if you are going to carry on with this pregnancy, this was going to be our baby.
Yeah.
I would like to have a conversation about this. Like if you're feeling small, as Joe is saying, you fear interjecting because you feel powerless. But if
That's what he said, actually.
Exactly. You've got to, unfortunately, when you're with a woman who earns more than you, you have to define your masculinity beyond money.
And he said way more. He said
bar.
way more.
Exactly. You've got to expand your masculinity beyond money. So this is the chance.
This
You've
is
got to
it's an
decide that
opportunity
you're
for
the
growth.
man, whether or not you're earning. You have a say in this relationship and push it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the way he phrased the question, it all just started with their relationship, her finances.
It started with her
growth,
finances.
her finances, her career growth, everything. He has said nothing about
About
has
himself.
he grown? Does he have more money now? Like
Where
is
are they, their
literally
relationship?
everything about the way he's seeing
a
this
lot.
situation is
Says a lot.
purely from the financial element, and that needs to change.
My POV about situations like this that I've seen in my humble experience as a man, a very limited number of years, has been there's a tendency for pain to be the center of the person. This financial pain becomes the center of this entire person's
go.
life and entire existence.
Yeah.
And it leads to very selfish decision making, because now it'll be like, Shorty likes to go to Glee. She wants to go and have the food there. It's really good, but a plate is like 1580 or 2K. She loves it, she likes it, but he has to force her to drag down her standards to where he can afford it without a care about what she's really about and what she's passionate about. She wants to go to a concert. He now has to make her feel insecure about her financial situation so that he can be able to be like, no, but why are you going VIP? So we go advance, it's more affordable. You don't use money properly. So now you create,
right.
but, you know, like when I was in Meru, one of the things I was taught there, I'll tell you now a story. One of the things I was,
happening in the
one of the things I
Really
was,
connecting.
yeah.
Set.
One of the things I was taught there was like, when a man has a wife who's a good farmer and he's a drunkard, and the wife there's constantly food in the house, right? So on the one day that the wife does not farm and the drunkard has gone drinking, when he comes home, he can't come home and be peaceful like all the other days when there's food in the house. He has to come and cause noise and kick the sufurias, so that nobody bothers to ask him whether there is money for food in the house.
That makes sense.
So you're saying
It does.
it's that same behavior. Like pain becomes
Really
the
good
center
insight.
of this person's life, and he manages everybody through that pain.
So
Yeah.
what did you advise this guy then?
And
Me,
yeah. You're very quiet over here. We need to poke. We need to poke over
I'm
here.
enjoying doing the poking, guys. I'm enjoying doing the poking.
Poke them.
yeah,
Okay,
please.
okay, I'll jump in then. I
Okay.
feel like one of the things I noticed with this guy, I agree with everything you said, by the way. I was just poking. I think the context of you being together for, was it 2 or 3 years?
Yeah.
That's where I have issue. Because I feel like that communication should have been there. It's her decision, of course, but the courtesy of we've been together this long, and typically this is the next stage of life, right? You would go into that if you're ready or not. So I feel like he does deserve the conversation, but I think when he has the convo, he needs to now leave room for the decision and then support whatever she does do. That's what I would say to him in that scenario.
Would you date? You're earning 50K, and someone is the woman is dating is earning 2M.
This is hard to imagine.
Or whatever
I
it is
think-
that you're
It's
earning
hard to
now.
imagine.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Whoa.
Yeah.
No, just the
Whatever it is that
now-
you're earning, she's
She's
earning
three
three
times.
times more.
I think I could, but that's only because of, the 4 things you talk about with the man. I think I've got the other ones, so I know what my potential is and what I'm going to do in a couple of years. So I don't look at that quarter of her earnings as my cap.
So
I
let's
see
assume
myself still
you're,
earning.
this is it. This is as much as you're going to earn forever, and she's going to be earning that much. Are you going to stay in the relationship?
I think I'd struggle there.
Yeah?
Yeah, if I'm confined to this scenario where I can't go any further, regardless of like the work I put in, the intelligence,
Yeah.
then I would struggle because I
Or
know things
even-
would come up later. It's cute at the start, but I think
Yeah.
things do
It's
come up.
cute at the
It's,
start.
it's always so
Everything
cute.
is cute at the
Everyone's
start.
progressive at the start.
But things do
Yeah.
come up after a while. You start feeling away regardless. And then the thing is, as a man, Oscar mentioned it in the last question, comparison is a big factor. So you'll find when there is a group holiday, everyone knows your girl was the one paying for most of your trip, right? And that's back to his point about
I
comparison
was
with men.
shaking a little bit when you
Yeah,
said that.
you're all in a boat, but it's like it's her card. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, tough. That's
Another
when it
table.
starts to get sticky.
I really, really do understand that.
Yeah.
But even if you are going to keep progressing, but she's always ahead,
Yeah, then
you're
that's
not catching
that's
up.
gonna be an issue.
That will still be an issue,
be
even
an
if
issue.
you are earning more.
But if
It's
your
only
base
be-
is like still a lot of money, you see, it's like if you're at then
Yes.
2 million,
I was
and
still
she's
at 50.
5.
I was still
no,
at 50,
I'm
yeah.
saying you're
Okay.
earning whatever it is you're earning now, you
Yeah,
as
it's just
Eli.
that
Oh, then we're
she's
fine.
3
Yeah,
more.
Yeah, we're
yeah,
fine.
but she's 3 times more.
That's fine.
You'd
then.
still be fine.
Because I
Okay,
feel
good,
like if
you're
I'm
good.
earning what I'm earning now,
Yeah.
I can still look after our basic needs.
Okay,
Right.
cool.
And her money
right.
can still be her money, and it
Perfect.
can chip in. If you
Right.
can take care of like the rent, the house, the food,
Yeah.
the basic, then it's fine. You can still say, go treat yourself with your money, and I can still treat us with mine.
Yeah.
Because I feel like as much as we're
That
mothers-
makes sense.
That's exactly what
Yeah.
it is. It can
Yeah.
be you're
Yeah.
poor and she's wealthy.
Yeah, that's when there's an issue. Because I think a man, as much as we're modern, still has to fundamentally provide.
Yeah.
And
But
yeah.
you know, guys, first of all, what you're saying is still going against a lot of what's happening right now. Men want to be provided for.
That's not okay.
Big time.
That's
Oh,
right.
it is happening everywhere.
Have you witnessed this? Have you been a
Oh,
victim of this?
I feel like I've been. It's when I look back, I was like, maybe I was a victim of this.
so sorry.
Yeah, there's plenty of men who just prefer to just relax and sit and be taken care of. Yeah,
I haven't met that one.
Can't imagine.
I've met
that's
men who
rough.
are comfortable to like let you take the lead, but not like provide everything for me.
yeah. No, it's only because it's like they want to save face.
Right.
If they were really truly asked,
They would,
they
be
would
like,
wrap this show
"Listen,"
up.
because the
Yeah.
patriarchy has been heavy for everyone.
Yeah.
Even some men just want to rest.
They just want to rest.
They also
I
do
heard
want
an
to
interview
rest.
where the guy was asked, one is like 32, she has 2 kids, as she's a single mom, like earns like a crazy amount of money. Then another one is like she's 25, she's like she doesn't earn whatever, she doesn't have kids, and he was asked who he would take, and he said he would take the one who's older with more money. Oh,
Interesting.
yeah,
I
thought
was-
so. He
Yeah.
was like, you take the one who's older with more money because he can learn from her. They can work together.
Was
Like
this-
they
was
can
this an
build
African
together.
man?
They can build together. But this other one, what he said is like, he will need to be too much of a leader here.
Do you feel like sometimes it speaks to their upbringing though? Because he's comfortable with that dynamic. Because I think like why I struggle with that is because in my whole life I've always seen mom doesn't have to work if she doesn't need to because dad provides everything. So I think rewiring your brain and going into a dating relationship with that context is where people struggle. So this guy, maybe growing up, he was okay seeing the mom provide more than the father.
Right. Yeah, maybe.
Or
That's
is
a
it
big
because
factor.
he doesn't feel like he can be a leader? I feel like the weight of this, like men be leaders, is getting to some men, honestly. And it feels too much to, first of all, you gotta lead yourself in this economy. Then there's Nani here who's waiting like this.
Lead me too.
You know what I mean? I feel like it can be tiring. Are you guys okay?
Yeah, guys, talk.
Yeah.
Let
Speak
out your
up.
feelings.
This is why we're here, guys.
Yeah,
This is
we
why
want to
we're
hear the brighter stories.
Yeah, I think that can be overwhelming for some guys, and it's just easier to be with someone who they don't need you as much.
But do they have longevity though?
Who?
Do you feel like after a while, like I said, things will start coming to the surface?
I don't know.
Because I think he might think he wants that because it's an ideal. But then when he's in it
Right.
after a while, he
He'll
gets
realize-
comfortable with the lifestyle.
yeah.
It's like, no, wait, I deserve either more or
Yeah.
this doesn't work for me
Yeah.
now. Because you get comfortable when you
It's
get upgraded.
true. Yeah.
Laziness shows up in very many ways. I
Yeah.
think this is one of the many creative ways I've seen laziness show up.
That is so interesting.
You can't tell me that. Personally, I can't recognize or respect anything that comes from that perspective. I have no software in my brain that runs like that, where it's like,
That's upbringing, right?
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Like
upbringing.
from what you just said, I'm just like, okay, is it? Probably it's because this person isn't thinking about a family. He's thinking about the comforts of life. You know, there's the
Definitely.
fact that like someone wants to be taken to Dubai, wants to experience, but then you know he probably wants to put up 40, wants someone else to put up 60.
Yeah.
He wants to be mothered. You know, there's also that like a
I
lot
have
of
people like that in my life.
yeah. There's people who are walking around with a lot of mother wounds, like
Yeah.
yeah,
And
and
we
like
don't talk
that's how
about that.
and that's how
No.
it tends to manifest. But on the finances question, I like to put my decisions on a curve. I tell you like this a lot, right? So I'll put a decision on a curve and I'll be like, okay, what you've said, 500K to 2 million. I mean, 50K to 2 million, that's a problem, right? But then if someone's at 500K and the shorties are 2 million, not that much of a problem because your life tends to be very similar at that point. But then I also recognize that there's someone who's a billion in, and then the other guy is still maybe at that same 500K. That's another exponential difference, right? It's helicopters, it's choppers, it's sitting across somebody, a generational wealth. Yeah, because I'll even say, I've been in a situation where you're sitting across someone's daughter and you realize that like the father, you'll have to sit across this girl's father.
Yeah.
And he'll ask you, hey, my guy, we own 6 banks. We have 20 stables. My daughter knows Côte d'Azur in France. She flies private. My guy, she doesn't know what economy is like. You speak, you're from South Sea, umepanda matatu. I trust you. I believe in you. But like, will my daughter attribute the same amount of respect to you as a man if she gives the same parallel to me as a father? Because like, she'll want you to give me these same things. Are you willing to take on that burden? And sometimes I think like as a guy, you have to be also very careful about what you introduce into your life, because you might be doing it for love, but then will you carry that weight of expectation that this girl's family, this girl's social circle, this girl's people are expecting of you? If you're a man who's lucky enough to be able to do that and to be able to achieve the goals you've set, maybe yes. But for me, I'm always like, I don't need that extra stress. Life is hard enough.
So you're
Right.
telling him to leave his girl.
Yes, that's my conclusion. My conclusion is that like, life is hard already. Like I know it sounds harsh, but like my view of it is
I do get it though.
I
my
too
view is like, get your money up. Like let's not like fundamentally as a guy, get your bag up. Like the truth is your boys probably won't tell you this, but my boys would tell me. It's like, get your bag up and then you can date your type. That's the way it usually is.
Conversation
Get
last
your
night.
bag up, then you can finally date your type. Because if your type is the posh fly girl who's like jet setter, amazing, you have to turn yourself into the kind of man that can maintain and keep this woman in your life. Because if you're not, it's going to be too painful.
Yeah. What are you guys
Yeah,
saying as a statement to the guy that sent in the question? What's your final like you're saying to Oscar? Do you leave? What do you do after the situation?
I don't think I would say leave for sure. I think I would say like start practicing to take up more space, because if you expand your definition of masculinity outside of that, you will see there's so many ways that you're needed, but because you're so focused, as you said, like the focal point of your relationship is now about your pain, you're only seeing how you're not needed. But there's so many other ways. Actually, when I hear guys talking about like, you know, she's got so much money, what does she need from me? I'm like, wow, you think that is your final like that's all you are, you know, where there's companionship, there's so many things that women need from a man that have nothing to do with money. So I think you'll be more like take up more space. If it's true she is blocking him from taking up more space, then also then gotta leave.
For me, like to be honest, I won't lie, like I've seen it happen where it's like you're in a situation where you can tell that like you want to be with this person, you want to spend the rest of your life, like she's doing really, really well. And as a man, you're not ready for that. You're not ready for that.
And you step back.
You have to take a step back, because like the thing is,
You have to be very self-aware
you have,
to be able to do
you have
that.
to like actually go like, as a guy, you're not ready for that software. Like that software she's running on is, you need, that software she's running on is different.
It's
like,
real.
It's
real.
because like money is a system. You always maintain money is fundamentally a system. It's the fact that somebody has a system that operates well economically, and that's why they're doing well. If you don't have a career, a business, why are you putting your energy into something you're not ready for? Have you found your purpose as a man? If you've not found that purpose, Please.
Are you a
Okay.
traditional guy?
I am.
Yeah,
I am.
very.
I'm
Yeah.
very.
Because I mean, the world is not operating on such a black and white way anymore, right? Or do you feel
Like it's, you might say it's not, but
It is.
in my eyes,
But then in that case, why do men date at all in their 20s?
it's pretty no, like you see, the thing I'm for the thing I'm trying to say is that, like, it's pain that can be meaningful and that can grow you, like, because that is pain. What we're reading here is somebody
Yeah.
who's in pain. It's pain that is meaningful. It's pain that can teach you, like, you know, in these situations, this is what you should do, expand your view of masculinity. But I honestly think that it is also unfair to the girl, right? I feel that it's also unfair to the girl for you to be there projecting your standards and what you want as a man on this woman, because fundamentally you're a leader. That leadership you're talking about, sometimes that leadership means you have to walk away. You have to actually say, I am not ready to actually take that next step with this woman because I'm not where I need to be as a man. And that's also a step.
Yeah. I like that you're putting your money where your mouth is, though. Like, you're willing to make that sacrifice.
Yeah, like
Maybe
yeah.
he wanted her
Step
to
away.
keep the baby
My
so
final
that
thought?
he can be a house husband.
One more time.
Are you assuming that he wants to be a house husband?
Yeah,
because
I'm
I
saying
didn't
maybe.
catch that. Ruby. One second.
What? What I
was
said?
your parting thought? Yeah.
Well, I said maybe he wanted her to keep the baby so that he could be a house husband, and maybe he's just not able to say that. Yeah, but no, my parting thought is just have the conversation with her, and you know, just tell her that you would love to have your say, but ultimately she will have her way, and you'll be able to support her through that.
Yeah, many relationships are existing where women are the breadwinners. That's a fact.
I think I would say there's a few little factors in the scenario that I think he should walk away. I think number one is, like you were saying, how he's projecting. Everything's about money.
That's what
number
I'm
two is her action of not speaking to him about it. Says a lot about the dynamic. A lot. And I feel like she wouldn't have to make this decision if he also made it possible for her not to have to make her career path her number one priority. So I feel like with those nuances, I think it's a bit of a dead start there.
That's true.
Yeah.
You really said it,
Thank you.
and it
We'll
really is
leave it as
true.
that.
Thank
Good
you.
luck,
We'll
though,
leave it
buddy.
as that.
Good luck. Rough. Okay.
Question number 3.
Question number 3.
Where ni kumoto?
This is. Oh, thanks, guy. Gosh, thanks.
Damn.
Okay, this is.
You putting her in that position.
Exactly. She has to prioritize her
Okay.
career.
This one I want to start with Lydia, purely because of the direction in life you're taking. Right? It all makes sense. Every argument turns into therapy. That's the title. My girlfriend's deep into healing culture. Now every fight
my mom.
sounds
This is
like.
my mom.
Do you know a James? No. Every argument turns to therapy. My girlfriend's deep into healing culture. Now every fight sounds like a podcast. Can self-awareness go too far?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It can't go too far. There's ways that therapy talk can be weaponized. We saw this with Jonah Hill.
What happened?
Yes, so he had a girlfriend who was a surfer. And obviously he knew that she models all of these things. This is, by the way, it's public. Even like the texts are public. And at some point in the relationship, he started to basically start telling her that she can't shoot, she can't go modeling, she can't hang out with these people. And he was using therapy talk. So it's just like, you know, for me, it's a boundary for you to go and hang out with, like, you know, I feel like if you really loved me, like somebody who loves me wouldn't go showing their body. You know what I mean? He was using his therapy talk, and it all sounded very, very well, very good put together to try and manipulate her into what he wanted to do, which is a form of abuse. Just like everything, the same way someone could have this conversation about, every time we're eating, it's about fitness. Every time I wake up, it's about sit-ups. Every time, you know, anyone can take anything to the extreme, you know? When you are really in healing culture, it's just like an obsession like any other. You are so concerned about that it's like anytime there's a conversation, it's just like, whoa. I feel like we need to go to therapy, or then you start interjecting your therapy talks, sometimes to be manipulative and to maybe get power over someone, and it can be abusive and toxic. So what I would say is, one, if he's not into therapy, whatever, and she's deep into it, there's a huge value disconnect here, because he doesn't value what she's saying. Because when you are, if my man was having a fight with me and he told me we need to go into therapy, that would resonate, because that's a value system. So if he's like, what is this, who cares, and she's deep into it, I think the problem starts there. But it's true, this can get abusive really quickly. The self-awareness can get too much. The therapy talk can get too much. And the other person also needs to back up.
Don't too extreme.
I also feel like often that when that happens or that dynamic is present, it's not always that they're trying to like manipulate, or like trying to be like abusive. I just feel like if somebody is deeply immersed in whatever culture it is, then that's just the space in which they're existing. So they see everything like that. Kind of like how like when you're on a weight loss journey, you see everything you're eating, you see it as calories. So it's like even if you're not intending to see it that way, it's just you kind of do. But you've said again, it's like a value system, and if you guys are too separate or too different, then maybe it's just time for you guys to be like, okay, this is not happening. But like with me and my man, I will say that he is not really a believer in therapy, but I am. But I'm not like deep like in the wellness space like Lydia is, but I have some level of understanding of it. But so both of us are kind of like somewhere in between, but with me more on this other side. So we're able to have some sort of like conversation, but I can see how sometimes he does say, stop talking about therapy like it's a magic pill. I told you the other day he said that. Or he's just like, not everything that you've seen from a therapist, it means that it's true, or it means that it's whatever. And I'm always willing to fight and die on that hill. You know what I mean? So I mean, but at least it's not as we're not like so separate from where we're so exactly. We're just kind of like somewhere in between here. But if it's too intense, then I think you need to separate.
Can two podcasters date? Eli and can two podcasters date? No. Yeah, I'm just asking questions.
It just means it's great conversation.
Is it possible for two podcasters?
But you're a podcaster, but you're
like a wellness
you're
podcaster.
You're not so much of a yapper.
I talk when necessary.
Yeah?
Or maybe it's just because we're here. You see now we are
And
four.
we're just like,
But it's sometimes good to listen though. Like I really enjoy your perspective. That's why I'm like, let me hear what they're saying first. Digest and see why I agree. Because I also want to learn as we're chatting.
Yeah, then you can date another podcaster then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Noted.
Yeah.
So she's saying I can't date a podcaster by extension.
No,
that's what she's trying to say.
Why so, buddy?
Yeah, because me, I think even me, you'll start saying empathy. I'll start throwing out like weaponized competence.
Everyone, sharp, come with your knife.
I feel if someone's actually doing like wellness work therapy, I feel like it's a bad indicator when all of that knowledge is just about the other person, but never about themselves. So for this lady to not eat, for the partner to not even realize that he's feeling this way, him to be writing in means like there's a lack of self-reflection and just like a mirror on him. That's what I'm hearing.
What I'm also hearing is like he's feeling lost in it, because maybe he doesn't even get it. So maybe she does table, I have a boundary. If you continue to shout, I'm not going to be part of this conversation. That is actually a boundary. She's not manipulating you, but because maybe you don't get it, it all sounds like jargon and confusion and it's attacking you. It feels like you're being attacked by something you don't understand. So which is going to feel even more threatening, That's really it's going to feel really threatening. So I think you guys are really different. If this is like a serious relationship or you guys are headed somewhere, find a way to meet somewhere when it comes to all of this, or everyone stays in their corner about it.
And then what happens to the relationship is everyone staying in their corner, surely. See, they need to resolve.
Murugi told me something that I hold dear.
Tell me.
That's that sometimes there are these tensions that exist that will kind of never be resolved in relationships, right? Not everything is going to be resolved. So sometimes people do agree that when it comes to this, stay in your corner and I stay in mine. If we're having an argument, please do not use this. You can create a world that's tailor-fitted to you guys' existence together where neither is being hurt because you want to stay together, but you do have some conflicts. And you just decide that this is a conflict until we resolve it, everyone stay here. Like for example, one of the things which I don't do in relationships anymore is hypotheticals.
Yeah, but
because we're gonna fight. I will literally jump on your neck. I'll jump on your neck about something about hypothetical. Why?
Your non-existent three children.
A non-existent issue. You see?
What if I wasn't?
Actually,
what if I was an
so you hate me. You know. So it's like hypotheticals is another one. Maybe I enjoy them, but it's hurting us. Shut up about them. Yeah.
I found that in arguments I can be painfully logical. Like. I take out all of the emotion. I put like that emotion and
I'm dying inside.
I'm
dying inside.
You know, we are Pisces, so it's 90% emotion.
I turn into a freezer. Like if the moment that if the argument becomes too intense, I'll be like, okay, let's look at this logic.
Are you an avoidant?
God.
Then I'm like, okay, what's wrong?
Are you an avoidant? Tell the truth.
Are you unavoidable?
Are you an avoidant?
I don't know. I've never done the test.
One thing I'll say about O, though,
And you're a
as much as
podcaster.
Done the
one thing I'll
test.
say
I
about
did-
you though, because we've
Yeah.
walked relationship journeys
Yeah.
together,
Yeah.
is he's very open to. He knows he doesn't understand the emotions sometimes, and he knows he's extracted the logic.
Yeah.
So he'll call his emotional boy
Yeah.
and be like, "This has happened. What do you think?" And I'm
Okay.
like, let's add the emotion, and then we've got a really good
Yeah,
solution.
yeah.
Because
Love
the
that.
logic
I
is
like that.
necessary
Yeah.
to be also like more objective as the guy in the relationship. But I like that you're open to understand what you
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah, like, yeah,
in the
because like
situation.
I wouldn't lie,
Yeah.
like my immediate inclination is when I feel too much tension, it's like, okay, wait, this is now an issue.
Yeah.
And my brain is what, when it's issues, the heart just starts pumping blood. Now it's the brain. Okay, what is the issue? So now it's like, explain what is up, how can I help? If I can help, I'll be like, okay. If I see that, oh my God, I can tell that my logical approach is causing pain, I stop there and I pick up my phone.
Yeah.
Now I feel like
Yeah.
that's definitely, if you then are in a relationship with somebody who's like really, really emotional, like
That's tough.
that must be
That's
really difficult
so
because it's
tough.
like, yeah,
Yeah, because like the trouble is like now that's the whole thing of like having the whole mentality of every problem is there to be solved, not to be listened to. So I had to learn how to be like, now it's like,
Just need to feel. Feel.
I'll sit in the
Yeah.
in the crap with you. I'll even what I usually do is, and this is how I usually like make sure that I'm not being too cold. I put on my PS, and then if it's a call, I just put it on speaker, put it on my lap, and like, okay, babe, tell me. So like I listen and listen and listen and listen. I'm listening. But then my brain is doing something else. So I can allow myself to listen.
Oscar,
Wow.
Imagine.
Men sometimes need a tertiary thing to be able to be in a moment.
No, like I tend, I need like I
get
need
you.
something to
I get
distract me, or like I start moving like when I'm listening, because I'm listening to like this is affecting me this way. Then I'm like, okay, I'm listening, and I listen and listen. Then I internalize it, and I'm like, okay, like this is the emotional output for that thing, because some
Emotional output, even the way you're putting
Yeah.
it.
Every
It's so
day
funny. Emotional
it's the
output.
because like like because if you like sometimes even like how I don't know, the emotional vocabulary isn't there. You get what I mean? Like
Fair.
how this conversation is also making me feel. I have to make myself process it. I have to be like, damn, you're hurting me. Like I'm actually like this is actually hurting me. And then I have to tell her like, okay, my dear, give me 2 minutes. Like then I now find the emotional vocabulary to say like this is causing me pain. Like it might sound like a problem to you, but the way I'm interpreting it is very painful. And so I think like probably there's been a response where I've intellectualized like the whole relationship aspect. But then what I found was really effective was like, for example, having a support system of people who can tell
The
me,
vocabulary
yeah,
as
who can
well.
tell you like, yeah, bro, by the way, she's hurting you. That's why you probably hautaki kusikia. Sitaki kusikia because like I'm like, ouch. Like that's
well, then for the sake of your partners, I feel like it's great that you have that self-awareness to know where that
That's it.
gap
That was
is.
so vulnerable,
Yeah.
by the way,
Exactly,
Oscar.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
like-
wonderful to know that.
Thank you for
Okay, the
sharing.
camera's on.
Yeah, as an extension.
Extension.
Yeah,
for
like
sharing.
when you because like the truth about it is like for us guys, if your brain is what has constantly solved problems correctly, like you've in school,
You
solved,
go there.
you've got so now your brain is what tends to function to solve the problem.
Yeah.
Right.
And then but she doesn't want the brain to solve the problem.
She doesn't. She wants to be
wants
heard.
Mr. Man. Like now you find I'm like, hi, I even had an alter ego. Hi, I'm Mr. Man. What are we doing? We're sending flowers. Okay. So now I have to like tap into that.
Right. Yeah.
In a way that makes that work.
Yeah. My man is also like a very scientific kind of thinker. But when we went to therapy, one of the things that our therapist recommended is like, before I start the conversation, I tell him what it is that I would like from him. So before I start the conversation, I'm just be like, Zach, what I'm looking for is not a solution. I'm looking for you to empathize and validate me and probably like a hug if I start crying. Okay?
Yes.
Then
And
now
then
I
go.
get into it. So now I've already told you. So you
like
don't,
you
you
carried
know,
your
yeah,
part as well.
exactly. Just
I've
get
written notes.
ahead of.
Is it possible, God?
Yeah.
Like because like that's that for,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
like you can imagine.
It would be helpful.
It's really helpful.
Is
yeah.
your husband like a career guy?
He
I feel
is,
like
yeah.
he
He is.
Because like he's making like 3,000 decisions a day.
Exactly.
Right? And
So I
because
don't
he's
want-
making 3,000 decisions a day,
he's found
your
his-
girl becomes another decision you're
That's
making.
the thing. No, I want to set him up for success. I want to be happy at the end of the conversation. I want him also
Yeah,
to
to
not
be
be feeling
happy.
like a failure. Like I don't know
Bring
ever
Zach
how
to
to
the
make her
pod.
happy or whatever.
I have questions.
That way,
You need to bring Zach support. I have questions.
Yeah.
Even
Right.
background.
Especially where there's that disparity of like
Yeah.
maybe someone is over here, maybe like how you're saying, maybe you're an avoidant and you can't
illogical.
process emotions that well, and then you're over here, you're there needs to be a middle ground from both from both
100%.
people,
Yes,
and not
absolutely.
demonizing just to you who
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this was a pretty good
partner, brother. Yeah.
I've
I
grown.
feel like we know you better now.
Oh my
I
god.
dare I ask this after this question. Are you in therapy?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, you
Love
are.
that.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
That's
married
good.
recently. I was told. Yeah, I was told what I was told.
By you, was this you? Who did this? You're not the influencer?
No, we talk about it.
Yeah.
I think he just took the leap when he needed to.
Right.
that.
Yeah, but
You
you've
should
done
do
it.
that
You've done it
attachment
before as well.
styles test.
I
and
know,
just
I
find
know,
out.
I know it's that fearful avoidance one, but I'm not, am I saying it on camera? I can't say that on camera. Can I?
You
No.
can.
No, that's insane. Anyway,
Which one are you?
I need to redo it because the last time I did it, I was in a very volatile situation.
Yeah.
So I want to redo it. Especially
Yeah.
because
Okay.
first
But I think you lean
was,
towards avoidant. You said.
I think so. I think
Yeah.
that was the latest one. When we first spoke about it, you were the first person to make me do the test.
Yeah.
And I came out secure. And then next time we spoke, I was fearful avoidant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that was,
imagine that.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
changes. Yeah.
Aya, next question. And this one is close. How many of us have sisters? Yeah.
We do.
Hey, it's fire. When my younger sister found out she was pregnant, she came to me first. We went to a private clinic quietly and got help. She's doing okay now, but my mom and the rest of my family have found out, and I have I haven't been spoken to by the family since. Everyone thinks I encouraged her to sin. I don't regret helping her. I just hate that it might have cost me my family. What would you advise me?
Wow.
Oh, that's really,
Oh
really
my
bad.
gosh. Wow.
Wow.
As someone with two younger sisters, let me truly put myself in that.
I
Love
have
that
got a younger sister, but I do not have that like religious kind of this is a sin and this was terrible. So I'll probably need to put myself in that, right? Because wow, that
But
that
the
would be
family
painful.
are the ones who are saying that she helped us in. She doesn't feel like
That's
there's
what I
anything
mean.
wrong.
No,
Right.
I mean like that probably wouldn't be my mom's reaction if she found
Right.
out. So
What about the rest of your family?
yeah, no, I don't think so. No. It wouldn't be like let's celebrate, you know. It wouldn't be like let's have a party, but maybe not that intense. That's so unfortunate because it's like you do feel like you've done the right thing, and your sister, I'm sure she didn't coerce her. It was like something that she didn't want to do, but then now there's this cost.
Wow.
I once heard somebody say it was actually the Squid Games, the actual games. Have you watched it?
Yeah. Why
Yeah,
the
the competition, the
Oh,
real
no, 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 no,
competition.
I'm not
Oh my
sure.
god,
The
you should
real, what
watch
do you mean
it.
the real competition?
See, there's a competition.
Wait, was
with
there two
Squid
seasons
Games,
of it?
and somebody won $1 million.
You mean like the show?
See, there's Squid Game, the show,
Then-
and then there's actually the
Squid
real,
Game,
the
the
actual
live.
competition
On where?
in real life on Netflix.
There was a competition where someone won a lot of money.
Yes,
real?
But there was
they
no
kind of-
deaths.
There was
Oh.
no deaths, but
I was
it
about
was
to be
set
like,
up
I'm
exactly like
concerned.
Squid Game.
I don't think I've watched it.
Oh
was
my
there
god,
a really
it's
annoying
so good.
mixed race guy?
Yes,
Okay, I have watched it. I have watched it. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, okay, I've watched
so
it.
annoying.
visceral.
Anyway, I heard the way this guy was articulating himself is that he lost his parents to religion. And he lost his parents to their convictions, their religious convictions. And the way he put it, I felt gave empathy to both places, whereas their convictions are true to them. He's not dismissing those. But because of where he stands and because his lifestyle doesn't match, they are no longer in contact and he's lost them to that world, you know? So it's like you can't change their minds. Like this is what they believe and what has happened has actually happened. I don't know, I think it's a time thing.
Yeah.
I think it's a time thing. Like right now it's bad, but in 2 years will people have softened a bit because their convictions are theirs and for sure they're not changing them.
Yeah.
And you're that person.
What I wonder is, are they also not speaking to her sister? Or is it just her
Because
who
she's
is not being
older.
spoken to because like they think that you coerced her? So that's one thing. Because I feel like if they are speaking to the sister, I mean, I don't want to say she has the responsibility to go and advocate on her behalf.
She
but
should.
Really, she should go and say something and just like make it clear to them that she didn't coerce me, she didn't force me to do anything. I had decided to do it on my own.
But
if she's in a
even
position.
if she does, will anyone believe her?
And also because when you're younger, you know, there's a kind of
just
authority
like,
you don't
yeah,
get.
exactly,
It's just like,
yeah.
you shut up, you
Yeah.
don't know anything.
Yeah.
We know she's the one, you know?
Yeah. I feel like definitely, give it time.
A time.
Probably it's difficult, especially if you are a close-knit family and now suddenly you feel ostracized.
Yeah.
It will be painful, it is difficult, but I guess stand on your conviction that you helped your sister when it mattered. Definitely go to therapy to be able to like address what that hurt looks like, and also just recognize that in life decisions have consequences, and sometimes we can't foresee what those consequences are, and sometimes they are much bigger than what we had imagined they were going to be. I feel like there's some family members who definitely don't speak to me because of TMI. Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah. I number, especially like some of my family members on my in-laws side. There's people who are just like this Jezebel. Literally every single week you're like sex, contraception, abortion. Literally, this is like, and I come from a very religious background. Yeah, and I'm married into a very religious family, so you can imagine.
Do you find that
Wow.
like this is the? I've been having this debate in my mind, right? Like the function of religion was fundamentally to get us to where we are now, right? I feel like, do you think that we are getting to a place where human knowledge and human understanding is beginning to surpass like the religious context within which we operate today? Are you beginning to see the whole thing of like, for example, a topic as taboo as this, right? Like that somehow we've previously it was very important for us not to have to go and undergo these procedures. We're trying to grow populations, but now there's a lot of social nuance around it. Do you think that maybe we need like a software update for religions so that we can be able to live our lives to the fullest potential? Because that's the debate that I've always found. I've always found that I think the more enlightened a society tends to be, the lesser the probability that its churches and mosques are full.
I agree. It's
Why
true.
is
And
that?
people actually say like people will be very religious here. They relocate to the UK.
Yeah.
The systems work. They
Yeah.
have money. They pay
Right.
taxes. People are not like constantly abusing them. Like the politicians their politicians are no longer who they're looking for hope. There a lot of their religion, like they kind of demystify. It just kind
Isn't
of
it weird?
evaporates.
Isn't it weird? I find it weird.
I don't think so. I feel like the more destitute of a situation you're in, the more you need hope. And faith and religion gives a lot of hope.
So hope is
So
a
then
product.
hope is huge in that. And by the way, believing in something bigger than you actually helps the quality of your life. So I don't actually think that it's something that you need to go away with we need to do away with. But it seems like when you're destitute, you're in church every Sunday because you're praying to God to help you do this and get this and your daughter and you're this. The more you have, the more it's just like, a little tired. Church, must we? It gets like that. I don't actually think that's the way it should be, but because of the way religion has been used, now it means like the more enlightened we're becoming, the more people feel like they don't need it. But it's because of the way it was being used, not because it doesn't have purpose if you're enlightened. Yeah, in my opinion.
But you're seeing the outcome that it's produced
I
in
am.
this situation, no?
I don't think we're actually more enlightened. I think if we just zoom out like hundreds of years, there's been so many empires, right? Whenever there's an empire, there's typically such radical behavior parallel to that, right? And I feel like we were kind of isolated in these different empires. The only difference I think now, it's not enlightenment, I think it's just globalization, and there's more noise of other people's value systems and religions. I think that's the biggest difference I think that there is.
You don't think we're more enlightened?
I don't think we are.
That's
I
so
don't think we are. We
interesting.
can't build a pyramid today.
Well,
Yeah. Like we just know more
But
about
we're not
everyone
building
else.
pyramids in a different ways, like as far as what we're doing with like technology.
Yeah,
I think we are building pyramids of our time. You know what I mean? And where technology is going, even from a perspective of science, disease, and things like that, I think we are definitely. I think we're getting more and more enlightened. It's just like in a different way. But what you did say was true. That why do I know what Sarah in North Carolina,
I
Jersey?
think the world just got smaller.
you know what
The
I
world's
mean?
just
It's
got
like,
much
why
smaller.
do I know what you think? So it's like we're overexposed about what we all think, and it's a little much. I don't think we were conditioned for that.
Do you feel like we build all these empires and then we create more problems for ourselves and then we lean back into religion?
Yes.
So
Yeah,
now,
I
like,
think it's a cycle.
there's a cycle that's going to come, and then we lean back
because all of the
we've-
problems are coming from there's so many cures, but there's so much more disease. There's so much more
Death.
because of our
darkness,
lifestyles, our
creation.
modern
Exactly.
lifestyle.
So we'll go through this like recess where we don't need God, XYZ, and then life gets really real. And there's wars everywhere, and you're like, okay, I need to lean on something because we've gone to our capacity as humans.
Yeah.
Like this conversation has reminded me of a poem, and I googled it quickly. Do you want me to read you the
Okay.
poem?
Please
read
do,
it
please,
for
please.
us. Thank you.
So it's by this writer called Shelley, Percy by Shelley, and it's called Ozymandias. It's one of my favorite poems. So I met a traveler from an antique land who said, "Two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them on the sand, half sunk, a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command tell that its sculpture well those passions read, which yet survive, stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them and the heart that fed. And on the pedestal, those words appear. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing besides that sculpture remains. Round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare, is nothing but the lone and level sands that stretch far away. So here's a king who built a sculpture and it fell, and over time it has become eroded. And it's inscribed, "Here lies Ozymandias." At that time, he was the King of Kings, and now there's nothing there but a desert. And I feel like that's what I find going on with society today, right? That we're now looking at ourselves as the all-knowing and the all-powerful. But as time continues to erode us, we'll find that again we will return to nothing but the sand. So it's like been this debate of like more like the more amoral. We're not even immoral, we're amoral. We seem indifferent to morality. The closer we are to this inevitable end.
Yeah. I think, funny enough, the more like I see my own knowledge or my own power, the more I'm so awake to its limits.
Yeah, facts. Huge.
So I feel like I need that higher power more.
Exactly.
Because you know nothing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And but then that's the thing also, like, because you have an understanding of your limitedness,
Right.
you also then have an ability to empathize with someone else's limitedness. And whenever you find people who push to a higher power to ostracize someone, it tells me that they're operating from a place of limitedness.
Okay.
Immediately, and they'd think that they know more, but for those who really know, you know less. And to
Right.
ostracize someone because they did what's best based on what they know is a very unfair thing to do.
Wise man. Wise man.
Traditional.
Oscar.
I was straight full of that poem, like,
Yeah. Yeah. But it's like
spicy.
those kind of poems you need to like sit and like
really-
read word to word. I can't take
I've
it
no,
in
I've
just
told
like
you,
you're
I've
saying.
explained.
right,
Yeah.
Visualizing.
Drop us the link.
I was like,
I was like, okay.
Yes,
I was like,
Face,
you're
mud.
like,
Yeah.
okay,
King
I
of Kings.
see.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
poetry.
No, for sure.
Like,
So
it's-
to the young lady sister, I
Poet.
think
Yeah,
that,
time.
the religion aspect. The only thing I would say is my parting thought
Yeah.
is I personally think religion is meant to bring people together and meant to ultimately in all religions there's meant to be a big element of love,
Right.
compassion. That's not happening in this situation. So I think your answer about time, maybe their relationship with religion as a family needs to develop so there's more empathy for people
Yes,
outside
kindly.
of it.
Yeah.
That's what I feel.
Yeah.
So I agree with time. as
Yeah,
well.
all missing them. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it's like
Just the human
parents are
element comes
mad
in. Yeah.
and then,
There's
I
like a
miss
maturity.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Time.
Yeah.
Was it
I
the
think it's
worst
just a
thing in the
reaction
world?
based on their moral compass
Yeah.
right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mr. Mwenda.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Final
Gosh,
question.
I'm so locked in with that one. I was so fun. I'm having a great time. Okay. I want this to be a banger.
This is the final one.
It is.
Have you
Yeah,
done?
banger.
Yeah,
It
this is the
is.
final one. Yeah,
Keep
yeah.
talking.
You
It's
shut
the final one.
Shut up.
Okay. What were you saying? Just fighting. Would you stay if love stopped feeling easy? At what point do you stop fixing and accept that some love stories have an expiration date?
Oh my God.
I'm a leaver, so tomorrow.
Yeah, when you
Nah,
sent
I'm
the
joking.
DM,
Nah, I'm joking.
when you sent
No,
the
I'm
DM,
joking.
that was the time now to
Yeah.
leave.
You don't think we should fight for this
Close
love?
to home.
Cheryl
No,
Cole?
what I like actually my gauge is actually pretty easy. It's not like as complicated. It's where I feel like our dynamic or you personally, you're hurting more
That's so
than you're doing any good, you know, because most of the time when something is happening, it's like you can see all of these other good things, but this is it. And I don't mean like if someone is physically hurting you, that's more than enough. But I mean like even in the dynamics that you're going through in life, it just seems like there's more I'm being hurt, there's more I'm not being seen for a consistent enough time, and work has been given, but it doesn't seem to be moving. Yeah, where I'm feeling I'm sacrificing myself, my welfare, my that's my stop.
Yeah, I think I would agree and say that it's not that like it was easy, then suddenly it's just gotten hard and you leave immediately.
Yeah.
There has to have been like, has it been like some period of time? Have you guys been trying to work on things, you know, and it's just not working? Have you
How
guys
volatile.
exactly how volatile has it been? Also, is it a season? Because I mean, relationships, marriages, whatever, love goes through seasons. So like for example, when let's say a parent is sick, you know, and so you know that your partner is depleted, you know that, you know, you guys are going through financial strain, like there's something to blame for what's happening, or you have very young children, because sometimes that can be really stressful on, you know, or like someone is changing jobs, something like that, or someone has lost a job. So if there's something particular that you can point to, that when this thing started happening, that's what's impacting our relationship, I feel like that makes it easier to weather the storm. If it's just like,
And it's not
we were
him.
happy, yeah, oh yeah, exactly. If it's just like, oh, we were happy and then now we're just not happy, and it's like you've tried to talk, you've tried to go to therapy, you are working on it, he's working on it, and it's not working, then it's okay to just call it quits. As Lydia's sister Aggie says, normalize leaving on the day of the wedding.
Normalize
living
leaving
pregnant. Okay, normalize
anytime.
anytime you want. You can actually just leave. Yes, at any point you can. Yeah, but there needs to have been. Even me, I'm a fighter. Me, I'm not a leaver like Lydia. Me, I'm a lover.
Yeah. No. Is that the word you would use? Because I'm a lover, that's why I'm a lever.
Interesting.
What's the word?
Explain
you
that.
use?
I explain
no,
that.
the
The
logic.
fighter, I like that. No, I like that.
You're a lover, that's why you're a
Yeah,
lever.
actually,
Yes,
she is a lover.
I'm
she's
a lover,
lever.
that's why I'm a lever.
Yeah.
Explain.
Me, I'm
Because
more
I
of a
know,
fighter.
it's like I know, I want love. I want love when we are in abuse, when we are in hurt, when we are in, like, when whatever it is that we were calling love has morphed into something dark and is no longer defined love. I'm a lover, why am I here? But I respect the fight in you. And I respect the fight in anyone. When I see people who are like really like getting in the mud, like this is murky, it's hard, it's difficult. We are both having to really push our limits to make this work. I really, really respect that. Maybe I just haven't found anything where I'm willing to get in the mud and just sling it out like
Yeah.
that. Maybe that's what it is.
Were you always like that though? Were you always like that? Did you try once to be like?
I've been raised by a lever, so it's like my mom is the most loving woman. Like the way she treats my stepdad is like okay, king, but the like where her safety, her well-being, those kind of things are being compromised. There's just no conversation. Like there's just none. So I think I've seen that there are lines. It's not like I'll love you into infinity of me becoming nothing. No, there's a line.
Yeah.
What?
Sorry, Anita's laughing when you said nothing.
I've become nothing. A shell of a woman. Yeah.
The passion.
Yeah.
I'm remembering how in your previous relationship, was it the previous ones?
Stop.
Let me just give this as an example.
Another one.
Let me just give this as an example.
Yeah.
There were like instances where she'll come and say like something has happened, let's say in the relationship, and like her not really first thought, but like she was ready to leave already at the beginning. Yeah, I'm like, no, but like, you know, maybe
Wait, this last one.
Yeah,
I should have left.
you should
earlier.
have. Now in hindsight, we know that you should have left earlier. But like me, I was
Sorry
like,
to that
I'm
man.
always coming from the point of like, what can we do to remedy this, to like fix this? Like, what are different explanations you can give for this, whatever? Lydia is not your mate. Let me tell you,
no.
she's not.
Alignment is
She's
a
like-
goal. Like, what are we discussing when
Yeah.
it's just like it's clear? Like, you know, I like being in spaces where things are aligned, and just because it's aligned doesn't mean it's easy.
Yeah.
But when I feel like there's pushing and pulling, oh my God, I can't stand
I
that.
fought harder for that relationship than you did, perhaps.
And that was a mistake.
It was
Don't
a
we know that
mistake.
now?
We do.
So we should
We
re-listen
do.
to me more often.
No, I'm still gonna be fighting for the next one.
I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, good
There's
time.
I feel like there's a line. That's my line. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you guys? When love is easy, when love gets hard.
Good God. Well, okay. Like I said, there's emotional vocabulary. So the way
Where there's no a logical one.
yeah, it's not. It's not a logical one. I think for me, it's where I think I'm trying to look for the right words. Where I have no more grace to give. I think that's the word. That's the sentence I'd end.
And men give grace.
Where
They
So-
really do.
where I have
Yeah.
no more grace to give. When it gets to that place where it's like I've reached both a logical and emotional conclusion. There's absolutely nothing I can do to remedy the situation. I have literally no more grace to give. I've done the very best that I can. I've put myself in a situation that probably I shouldn't have, but then like I just don't think I have it in me anymore. That's why I often find myself like draw a very, very, as Eli likes to say, very hard line in the sand. Like because I'm very good at enforcing boundaries. I'm very good at saying, yeah, this is not happening. This has to go this way from now on. And once I get to that place, and I hear it from both my brain and my heart, I think that's why I usually know, like, yeah, there's nothing I can do now.
Does it usually take long for you to get to that place?
I'm very traditional. So like she said, so I'm very big on like, okay, I'm going to give you an analogy. It has come.
There you go.
So the way I understand like women especially is that women remind me of like the ocean water, right? So you see, the thing about ocean water is that like when there's a moon in the sky, they're moved by the tides. So they're moved by things that are completely out of their control. So the water can be harsh, the water can rise, but then also the water can also be nice and still, right? And I understand that like women are often moved by things that are often involuntary. Your body systems and etc, your hormones, it puts you in a place, it's kind of like the moon, right? And so that's why the waters rise and crash. My job as a guy is not to be like the ocean. I can't be like you. I can't be like, constantly volatile. I have to be that harbor where I can hold the water. So like, oh my God, babe, I'm hearing that. No. That's my interpretation of it.
Okay.
That's my interpretation.
Exactly how it
It's a
sounds.
stormy night.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a stormy night, right? It's a stormy night. The thunder is in the sky. The weather is blistering. The harbor has to remain constant. Like the harbor is like nice and constant. Where I know this relationship has to end is when the harbor can no longer hold the water. That now you've crashed against it for so long and for so often that even I now am beginning to feel like this is difficult and this is affecting me in ways that like are affecting other people who come to the same harbor to dock. Because you'll find like as a man, your role is not just for the woman. It's your family, it's your friends. They all come to you as a place of like stability. So whenever I feel like that container, I can no longer contain it. Unfortunately, we have to change the beach.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the case. And the way you just, I was in dreamland.
What
a
I
poetic
look at his
way.
mouth.
Me too. I was like, Oscar, is he single? This is a single man?
I said the emotional vocabulary is not there.
Analogy.
so-
An analogy.
Yeah, but
though.
an
Girls,
analogy.
relax.
Calm
Calm down, girls.
the
Eish. That was very,
I love that
very
analogy.
poetic. And actually, it felt very empathetic. The way you kind of understand, like, the way we... Do you know what?
Thank you.
We will side chat on
Yeah.
this. But anyway, my other question could be, could it be that the reason why this harbor feels like it can no longer contain is that there's elements of it that's also moved, but
Yes.
there's no freedom to?
Well, that's a very good question, right? Where it's like, yes, you're going through changes yourself as a person, right? And that growth and change tends to happen. But I've always found that you can grow together within the relationship. So yes, you're developing together and you're growing together, and so is the other person. But what sometimes I've seen tends to happen is that for me as a guy, I tend to be very stable. I'll tell you, babe, I'm going after that promotion. I'm going after that job. Then like all my energy and effort will be towards that. Then you'll come with your, I'm going through this hard thing. Then I'm like, okay, don't worry. These are things going on. I'm here to listen to you. Very rarely do I ever find that I have a necessity for this other person to pour into my cup. You understand what I mean?
Interesting.
It's very rare. I do want it and I do wish it, that like I wish somebody else was also like pouring, like developing the harbor as they crash into it, right? But then the weird thing that I found in most relationships I've been in is that that's not the case. It's like I'm constantly that force of stability because that's what I'm perceived as, Yeah, so like
I feel like what you're describing is really what's the issue with men's mental health
100%.
right now, because you shouldn't have to be, you shouldn't need to be, because even as the harbor, there are things that will come your way that you can't necessarily, like whatever, let's say
need
a parent is
someone
sick
else.
or you're having extreme financial burden, that one, even if the sea is how calm, the harbor can still be like completely just like
wrecked.
wrecked
Yeah.
because it's just like, and it might need now then the support
ocean
of
to
the ocean
figure it
because-
out. You know what I mean?
Good analogy now I think about it.
Yeah, that,
Really good,
that
really
analogy is seeming super one-sided. And because despite the way that we are told that men are not emotional, men are emotional creatures. They
yes.
are.
Yeah.
Just looking at the violence in the world will tell you enough. Men have got the emotions.
Yeah.
It's just the way they are being pushed to it to just be about violence.
But these are men in families. Like for example, I can't speak for your husband, but you can imagine like There's kids who come to dad. There's mom who comes to dad. All of them. The moon is there. They're crashing against the harbor. Then, like, maybe if mom is kind enough, she'll help him,
Take
like,
a bit,
exactly take off
yeah.
that
And
weight.
that's how it should be in relationships.
But sometimes it's not. Like, you'll get looked at as this, like, constant, and like you have to be that constant. If you're a firstborn son, you're the constant.
Right.
You're a performer at work. You're the constant. So like it's all of this has to be contained. And so like for me, how I know a relationship has to end is when I'm like in a place where I'm like, yeah, I can feel myself break. I can literally, I have no more.
Yeah.
Like this now where you've taken it is a place I can't follow you. Even when, for example, like in situations where like something like there's a risk of infidelity, like where somebody is like, oh, I'm seeing your shorty is out and about, then she comes back. Now, you see, now at that point, now you've taken the situation to a place where I can no longer hold your water.
Right,
Somebody else
right.
has to, but it ain't me. I
It
don't know who it
ain't
is.
me,
but it
God
ain't
bless you,
me.
but it
It's
ain't me.
true, yeah.
So like that's the thing about like I think being a man, and that's why you have to have very firm boundaries
I get
on
it.
what it is that you can stand and what you
Yeah.
can't.
Are you partaking in you being perceived as this must do? Are you partaking in that?
Well, the perception, unfortunately, you're running a podcast. You what you do, and it's very public. Like I work and I do all these different things, but like the perception that you're a stable man also is part of the being a man, right? People need to know that they can come to you, otherwise they won't come to you. And this will be tied back to our previous conversation
On the respect.
On respect.
But with your woman, you know, because in the relationship is where you're able to then be your more
At least
relaxed self, more
vulnerable.
vulnerable, more like
Or do you not feel that?
exactly.
Okay, yeah, dude. Like I don't date a chick who I can't be vulnerable with. I can't date a chick who I'm not vulnerable
Right.
with.
Okay. So there you can be a bit more
I
relaxed.
And then you
can't-
can
like,
allow
I
her to then
personally-
pour into you.
I personally like the problem isn't that I have to use a different analogy. The problem isn't like I put my hand over the bottle so someone can't point to me because I want to be seen as this
so they're
macho
just
guy.
not.
No, it's typically that you find that a lot of women that I'm going to say a lot of women that I've encountered don't have that capacity to pour into people, like that nurturing spirit. So what typically ends up happening, because you'll attract that, right? If you're an ultra stable guy,
That's what I was gonna say.
you're
the
going to
yin and
attract
yang.
that polarity. You'll attract that a lot, and you have to be able to create a dynamic for yourself within yourself that attracts somebody who's a giver.
Oscar, you'll give. I've
I
watched you.
have
He'll give
loved
90,
this
but
exchange.
you just ask for 10. I've noticed. You just need the 10, but if he doesn't get the 10 after asking for it for a long period of time, that's when you have to. That's what I've noticed with O.
Yeah, I can
but he'll give 90.
imagine if
He'll
you're
give 90.
giving the whole 90 all the time. Yeah.
But that comes from maturity, like the way you guys have responded to like conflict, etc. That's people that can give the 50.
Yeah,
or the 80
like
when
but they're
needed.
rare.
But there's
Like
it's
you women
really
are
rare.
rare. You're
Yeah,
really rare.
really,
Like
really
especially
rare.
for us young men, because you can imagine you're living this life where you're constantly on social media, you're being seen, you're very public. Everyone's like, oh my god, Mr. Strong, Mr. Stable, Mr. Smart. But then even you have your own struggles, and like most women, but the women you're attracting are not women who can empathize with that struggle. You're attracting women who.
Are you at the stage now where you're asking like, why do I attract that? That's why I'm
Yeah, see, that's where we are
Why
at.
am I
Yeah,
attracted?
now.
Therapy. And that's,
Yeah. The garden has a fence, but so now we must change the plants. We must change.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, if we want different animals to come in, change. Instead of planting oranges, we do apples.
That was the Gen Z episode.
I think you're well on your way. Like the way you're aware of yourself and those kind of dynamics and the way you're accountable to your part, really refreshing.
Yeah.
Really refreshing.
What about you? In terms of when
is
to
it
end the
time to
relationship?
leave?
Yeah.
I think I mentioned it earlier, where I think at one point in your life as a man, you'll take yourself to the very extreme. The last bit of blood will be sucked out of you. I think it happens once and you learn you can never do that again. So I feel like before, if it was before any serious relationship, I would have said, I feel like I've got the bandwidth if I love them to do anything for them.
Yeah.
And that was a lack of boundaries romantically. Now in hindsight, I feel like my boundaries are way shorter because I know what happens when you give all of yourself into an environment that can extract and take from it in an unhealthy way.
Yeah.
So I feel like now I recognize it way quicker. And I have to, when I realize that I'm changing negatively, and when I realize that I'm also just, Oscar said it as well, not functioning how I do for my other people, because like we just said, the work that we do, a lot of people rely on us. When I can't show up to meetings, when I can't operate, when I can't think like pragmatically, then I'm like, okay, this is actually taken away from me as a whole person.
Yeah.
And it's only going to get worse. So I think that's where I know the relationship has to end.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
when I'm
Can I
changing.
ask you a question? So before, I think this was like 2-3 years ago or something, we talked. And you had a very clear idea of like, because you wanted a dynamic like your mom, and you really, I know that you look up to their relationship. Now that maybe you've had an experience which is not consistent with that, do you still hope for that, or are you clear that your story might not be that like that?
I still believe I can get there
Okay.
in my own version. Obviously not copy
right,
paste,
yeah.
right? But I think what it is now I'm going to take my time more.
Okay.
Because I think I got to an age where I was like, companionship.
Oh, like it's
Let's go.
time.
And
We're
then,
ready.
and then I started thinking romance is about compromise. But I don't think that's the case, because I think now when I've come back to myself, I was right with what I wanted. Yeah, and I'm just kind of reverting back to that value system. But I feel like why I talked about changing is because if your value system is changing because of a partner, that's where it's a problem. I think you should bring both value systems and get the best out of each other,
Right.
rather than diminishing your light and who you were. So I think I can still achieve my version of that, because it's made me have this value system because of how I was brought up. So I hope for the same for my children. So when I'm choosing a partner, I don't want to choose somebody that's going to make me not be able to achieve a beautiful home and life like the one I came from in my own version.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So I'm back to, now we come back 3 years, I'm still that person.
You're still that person.
2.0.
I get your
Yeah.
point. Yeah, with like more clarity and more whatever.
Yeah.
Can I ask you now, since we're talking about easy life and whatever, since you guys have been poking at us, what have you done in relationships before that made it hard?
Hey, I have 10. 10 things.
You have 10 things.
Yeah, things like, hey, because like there's one thing, and we had an episode with Gen Zs where they asked me like, Oscar, what is it that you want in a what are your non-negotiables? You know, the youth, love them. Shout out to the youth. And I said forgiveness, because I am nowhere near perfect. I am nowhere near close to being like the man I need to be able to keep and maintain the kind of love that I have to give. And so like one of them is like what I just told you. I over intellectualize my emotions. So like when I feel ouch, the first thing my brain is like, analyze the ouch. Like the whole office is like ouch ratio to like, you know, so like I just, my brain doesn't. So that emotional vocabulary, learning to speak from the heart, something, that's why I use analogies a lot, by the way.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it's an easier way for my brain to convey what it feels and what it's thinking emotionally. So that's one. The second thing I think that I need to kind of rein in is I can't believe I'm saying this, I kind of need to assess the relationship I'm in outside of what other people think. I think that as men, sometimes you can be like, you want your girl to be liked by the boys and the girls and the people in your life. I need to be the kind of girl who's like, I don't give a hell what y'all think. This is what it is. You better start moving in that way. I think that's a massive weakness, especially given the industry that we operate in.
Yeah. Everyone's gonna have an opinion.
Everyone's gonna have an opinion and stuff. And something else that I've been doing well, but I think I could do better, is keeping my private stuff private.
Okay.
Like I like the idea of not letting too many cooks in the kitchen, despite the fact that we're running podcasts and we're doing all these things. Me, like, this love is best when it's eaten alone, with a small spoon, a tiny one. That's the kind of love I want. That one, the tiny spoon one, I chotter like this, nobody knows, but we're enjoying it. That's like, I really value privacy.
Okay.
So like, I think those would be the three things I'd pick out. I need to do better with, like, keep your stuff private.
Yeah. This perception one, is it now also tied to this, the way I'm perceived, the man of status, respect? It's all
Remember when I
tied,
told you, like,
right.
like I'm not going to lie and say that men don't do things for other men. Most of the things we do as men are for men.
Okay.
Right? You want the body with the big nyash. Why? Why? What's the insistence on the issue? Like what? Like, you know, what's the matter? Why aren't you like measuring her on her capability to keep the relationship and keep you happy? So like I find that like as guys, our egos tend to drive
a lot of
especially at our age where there's no kids, a little bit of man is showing up. It's like it's the same reason why you buy a Benz when you don't need to. Like it's you want other people to see.
It's true.
Patriarchy helps no one.
Question was, what did I do wrong in the last one that I'm not going to carry into the next one?
In previous relationships.
Previous relationships period,
I think I accepted so much disrespect, and then the dynamic. So there's a line that says, unexpressed expectation is premeditated resentment. So I found that I used to think that my stability was being quiet and bearing the pain. And somebody working with me said to me, my therapist, I'll just say it's fine. She was like, it's not meant to be about grit. Like, it's meant to be about enjoying each other. Not going to say, no, I'm going to hold on to this, and then when someone else is ready, I'll talk about it. And I think I'm just going to be expressing myself off the bat, regardless of the outcome, because I feel like you can kind of let somebody pour their pain onto you, and then you hold yours, and then the whole dynamic changes, and you've never got room to express yourself in it. So I feel like if I express and that can't run, and I can listen to you, then that's not a relationship I want to carry on with, because we should both have the space, different dynamic when it's man and woman, but both have the space to express what you need, what you like, what you don't like. So that's the thing I did wrong. And that also merges into disrespect, because you think, okay, let me be quiet because I don't want to have the disrespect we talked about where someone disrespects you and you start shouting as well. I used to think polarity is you're quiet, but then it can compound and compound and compound. So that's why the boundaries I have now are so much higher. And it's what I always knew I needed to do. So I'm not compromising like I did in my last relationship.
Right. Okay, sure. And also, like, doesn't resentment, then you become like a person as well who's not good because you're so resentful. So it starts to leak.
I think the resentment can manifest in different ways. I think mine just manifested in pain, like quiet pain. It never turned into like venom from my end, because I think there was too much pain for me to be active from that pain. It was more like sedated to a certain
And
extent.
sometimes now when you've been quiet for so long, it's just like, does it even make sense
there's
for
a
me to
whole
speak up now? Like, let me just
Yeah.
continue being in pain, and, you know?
So I'm just never doing that again.
Yeah, it's true.
Ooh, yeah.
And I think sometimes we do think that, like, when you're being quiet, it's like you're being the peaceful one, you're being the good
You're the
one.
martyr.
Yes, you're the
Martyr.
exactly. But then what's happening with the dynamic? It's not helping.
Yeah.
Actually.
At all.
And ultimately, a woman would also lose respect for you if you don't express yourself after a certain
That
time.
is the truth.
Yeah.
Say it twice.
Yeah, they'll lose respect after a certain time. And that's also on you. The fact you've given that room to be
Thank you very
put in this
much.
box, and he's not going to say anything, it's fine. But you think you're being a man, but you're not.
You're not.
Yeah. If anyone asks me if there are any self-aware, self-introspective men in Nairobi, I will show them this episode.
And this podcast.
This
generally,
podcast is just
What a combo.
Actually, from this conversation, I
Yeah.
feel like I can see a difference in you guys.
so
I actually
much.
can.
Oh,
I swear.
my God.
Wow.
For sure.
Goodness
Big
me.
Your
difference.
relationships have changed you guys.
Definitely. Oh yeah, exactly. This was pre-relationship.
Ooh-wee.
This was pre
Oh, yeah,
this
you
relationship.
Yep.
Yes.
You've
Definitely
been
changed you. And I feel like you're both very balanced. Like you're very aware of like, okay, this is what was happening from this person's end, this was happening from my end, and then what you want to do about it. It's actually so refreshing.
Extremely
So refreshing. And you guys, why should I settle?
Yeah, when there are men like this.
When there are men like this, why?
Exactly.
Why?
Oh, we're blushing,
Wait for all the
blushing.
comments under here. Lydia should just date one of them. Lydia, can you just...
That happened last time, no?
Yeah.
That happened last time.
So much. Guys, let's put this down to bed. Me and Eli are not dating. We're
I
dating.
have a quote.
She didn't say she was
Where's
dating
my
Oscar.
camera?
Put your hand down, Oscar.
It is often said in Kimeru that a man who does not speak his heart will find himself fetching water for the groom on the day of his lover's wedding.
Wow.
That is the quote. If you understand, you have understood.
Goodness me.
What do you think, Murugi? What do you think?
Me, I'm merely married with 3 children. Come on. I really don't have much to contribute here.
Things we have the power to edit this episode. So
That's it.
we have the
That's
power.
it.
We have the power.
Utilize that power.
I've got you.
Thank you.
Say less. But engagement. Anyway, thank you so much for making the time. Congrats on the pod, everything you guys are doing. We
Yeah,
love
that was
having you and your insights. It's also made us think like, yeah, there are women that are very balanced, mature, and can have the capacity to accommodate you too. So it's encouraging on our end as well.
Yeah, and like a massive congratulations on your live shows. We've never done a live show,
Yes,
but
yes.
we watch you guys and we're like, should we
Yeah,
go?
it'll be
Can we
insane.
expect one?
Yeah.
Can we expect
We'll
one?
need your guidance.
loading.
We'll need your
Loading.
we'll
I've been
need your
saying this for
guidance.
years.
I would buy a ticket in a heartbeat
For
to
sure.
a Mantalk.
Are you sure?
Live show. Yeah.
I'm telling you guys, not this. This space
Yeah.
is wide open.
Extremely, guys.
It is.
Yeah. I think it is time. It's
is.
been 6 years.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
6
we
years.
should probably do
Like
it.
we've been watching you guys and we're like, should we?
You should.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or
Now I
like,
think
you can
we're
even
ready.
do one which is like involving like, and friends or whatever. If you don't want to like just do just yours alone.
Would you guys
start.
do a show with us? if we were to do a
Yeah,
live show.
Yes,
we would do
we would.
because we're always
Oh,
saying how we would
oh.
like more men. Okay, I don't know if having you guys will now bring us more men.
Because it might bring us
Mm.
more women.
women.
Yeah.
Based on the stats, you
Yes.
might be right. But
Yeah, but
Yeah,
a
but
man's
I feel like it would be
perspective, we
nice.
feel
Yeah.
like we would always benefit.
Absolutely,
Yeah, to that. Yeah.
Okay, say less.
Yeah.
Say
Start
less.
cooking.
Yeah, next year.
Yeah?
Start next year.
Jan,
Yeah.
they've said next year, guys.
Thank you.
Again, the
Thank
edit.
you guys so much for having us. This was amazing.
Yeah, this was a great conversation.
Well, we hope you've enjoyed this episode.
Half as
We
much.
enjoyed making it.
Because we had a ball.
See you next week,
See ya.
guys.
Like, share, subscribe, and
TMI.
all that sweet stuff.